must make your choice.
Beyond the day and night, in this realm of timeless twilight, fate awaits your choice.
It's a salty pirate. I got to get my hands on the greatest booty of all, the Shadowverse Open Crunch, with delicious competitive card gameplay. It's all for me! Silly salty pirate, Shadowverse Open is for everyone from eligible regions. Qualifying participants of the Shadowverse Open will receive a chance.
Welcome once again to the Southeast Asia Oceania Shadowverse Open Dawnbreak Nightedge Take-Two Cup. Nailed it.
Nice.
Got it. My name's Manjan Obama, and I practiced that at least 10 times before we went live. But
I don't blame you.
I'm here with I guess Jimmy Neutron of Shadowverse. Why don't you introduce yourself?
That's a high compliment. Hello. Hi. I'm Ignidius, Shadowverse content creator, and one of your casters for today. Obama, you excited? Take two.
Yeah, man. This actually is my personal favorite game type for this game. I like it. It's fun. It's a little random.
Right.
a little random,
Hey,
but
you get cards that you've never seen before in Constructor, right? Seeing
Yeah.
play, and players have to do the best they can with what they got, and that's the fun part of it.
yeah, that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not always. It's not like you can't just go on Reddit and look up a deck list and then copy and paste
That's
it.
true.
You gotta come with your own kind of ideas for a strategy in terms of how you draft the cards, how you play them out, and then you just gotta do the best with what you got. And it's fun to watch people win that struggle. It's fun to watch.
It's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
And this tournament, not only is it fun to watch, but it's also a huge part in the player's path towards the World Grand Prix. Why don't we take a video and see how that all plays out in the long term?
Sick of not being a millionaire? Playing Shadowverse could get you an all-expenses paid trip to Japan to compete for a massive $1 million first place prize in the Shadowverse World Grand Prix. That's right, $1 million. That's right, $1 million. So how do you win $1 million? First, you have to qualify for one of our 3 Contenders Cups. We have one for Southeast Asia and Oceania, one for the Americas, and one for Europe. These cups are where 2018's top players are flown to LA or Singapore to fight for the World Grand Prix invitations. It's gonna be epic. And how do you qualify for our Contenders Cups? First off, mark up your calendars because this year we are introducing the Shadowverse World Circuit. This consists of 3 offline tournaments that anyone can take part in: DreamHack Tours, the SEAO Open, and DreamHack Montreal. Anybody from anywhere can compete for the 10K prize pool per tournament. And as an added bonus for local players, winning your home region's tournament will get you flown to the Contenders Cup to fight for a slot in the World Grand Prix. You can also secure a Contenders Cup slot by winning one of our Pan America or European Spring or Summer online tournaments. Some slots for the Contenders Cups will go to players with the most 2018 league points. We've got 4 slots for competitors in Pan America, 4 slots for Europe, and 2 for SEAO. Didn't make the cut? No sweat. There's one more chance to qualify via our last chance wildcard tournaments that will take place in each region in September. Win one of those, and boom, you're in. You'll be gatecrashing the Contenders Cup with all the other contenders, where an almighty clash of wills shall decide the final players who get to take part in the World Grand Prix. So this year, we are giving even more people even more chances than ever to win cash, just for playing Shadowverse. Our 2018 Global Esports calendar now covers 120 countries. And if winning money and basking in esports glory all sounds a bit like too much effort, just sit back and relax. We'll be streaming Shadowverse Esports all year round on the official channel so you can watch the best players in the world slug it out week to week. It's never been a better time for competitive Shadowverse. What are you waiting for? Go check out ShadowverseOpen.com.
So welcome back once again, guys, and remember, this is the Southeast Asia Oceania Shadowverse Open Dawnbreak Nightedge Take-Two Cup. Last time, you remember, we were with the rotation format, but this time it's going to be Take-Two. Now, Take-Two is a game format where players are going to choose from 15 two-card pairs to create a 30-card deck, and then they're going to play in a best-of-3 single elimination format where they get to redraft their deck after each game.
So
let's talk about the prizing a little bit. It's a $1,000 prize pool, correct?
That's right, but they're not just competing for money. So it's a $1,000 prize pool, $500 for first place, but very, very importantly, first place also gets 20 league points, which puts you up in those leaderboards to give you a chance to go to the Contenders Cup later on in the year, which is, of course, how you get into the World Grand Prix at the end of the year, which has a $1 million prize issue. So these tournaments are really important to building up your league points to help you get there at the end of the year for the biggest Shadowverse event ever.
That's right, man. $1 million for that World Grand Prix. We're esports now. If you couldn't tell by these new fancy chairs brought to you by Secret Lab, the lumbar support is fantastic. Anyway, look, getting back into it once again. Remember, the goal is to get into that World Grand Prix at the end of the year where you have a shot at $1 million. And again, for just a card game, that's pretty wildly impressive. And a lot of people are, again, investing a lot of time, money, and energy into this game.
It's big, man.
Yeah.
It's a big year for Shadowverse,
For sure.
especially competitively. And, of course, if you enter at all, you get a participation emblem, and if you win, you get a special flair as well to show off to all your friends and all the people in ladder that you end up wrecking. So
Yeah,
that's
we got
another incentive.
And we got to underline the Southeast Asia Oceania region in particular, right? This is the first region where we've been having on-site broadcasts for it, and this is a region that you mentioned last time is kind of in development, kind of growing a little bit. We saw a really competitive rotation cup format last time. This time it's Take-Two. So talk to me a little bit about what are you looking forward to going into this top 8 for this tournament?
I'm looking forward to seeing. I know Take-Two it's a bit higher variance in constructed format,
Sure.
but it would be great to see a mix of new and old players. I want the old players who've been here for a while to prove that they're here for a reason. They're good at drafting decks. They're good at just the base mechanics of the game rather than just deck building. And as well as just drafting skill. But I also want new players to just be able to join in and try their hand, because as I said, this is a developing region. And new blood is always great. So I'm excited to see a little bit of a mix of both.
Yeah, you hit on why this format is so fun to watch, right? It's not just about your ability to play the game, but also deck building skill, right? On the spot deck building skill. That's what's fun to watch about it. You get to see people make choices.
Yeah, kind of an equalizer if you can't practice with all those fancy cards that you don't own. Take-Two, it's all draft.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, so let's take a look at the league standings right now.
All right, so the current league standings, we have BMA first place with 51 points. This is as of the top 8, so this is up to date to right now. And then Glow in second with 49. Mao-sama in 49 as well, and Riripo in 42 is the top 4. And then next, we have Aslos X with 37. Dreamlife with 35, Melodog with 32, Kakasaki with 29, Mojuk with 25, and Gomms at 24 at 10th place.
Yeah, so the big names here, of course, BMA. BMA is ranked top 5 in the world in Take-Two format.
Take-Two.
Nowhere to be found in this top 8. Got his back blown out real early.
Sometimes it just happens, man. Like, you get a bad draft, you get a bad hand, and, you can't, then you just lose. Like,
yeah, just stuff happens.
It's a tough tournament this time. It's a really high competitive, it's high stakes here, because it's single elimination. There's no second chance here.
Yeah, that's true.
You lose once, you're out. So it's really high pressure.
And also, Mao-sama, a rotation cup winner from last time for the Dawnbreak Nightedge season. He
also washed
unfortunately, out. Got washed out early. Missed top 8 a little bit early. Man, Mao-sama, and now he's in that tricky position, right? Tied for second place. If he wanted to do a little bit better, he could have gotten a few more points. At least got himself into that first place position that he's been chasing.
Although some of these people on these standings are in the top 8 here. So we have Kakasaki in the top 8, as well as Gomms. So those are some names you might be familiar with. And going to see if they can try and shoot up the leaderboard there. They're a little bit near the bottom. But again, if you win this cup, you get 20 league points, which is going to help huge amounts to help you get into the Contenders Cup later near the end of the year.
That's right. Like you said, first place gets 20, second place gets 17, third place gets 14. So for Kakasaki and Gomms, they're within striking range. A win here for Kakasaki puts him in second place tie position. Gomms, he puts himself in that conversation too if he's able to put together a big performance today. Yeah, so like we said, first place gets 20, second place 17, third place 14, fourth place 14. because remember, this is a single elimination tournament. And then 5th through 8th place both get 9 points. All get 9 points. 9th through 16th get 6 points.
Taking a look at the bracket here, this is our top 8. You've seen some familiar names here. Some
Yeah,
names
yeah,
from
yeah.
last month as well.
For
Popo
sure.
got 2nd place last month in the Rotation Cup for this season. And also some new names, like we haven't seen Brangwin before, haven't seen RWI before. So it looks like it's pretty good. We got that mix of new and old like I was talking about.
That's right. You see
Pretty
Random
happy with it.
Mystery down at the bottom, too. We remember him from the top 8 at the Rotation Cup last month. Like you said, Kakusaki representing Mr. Popo and VS Styx. A lot of international representation in this top 8 too.
And that's why I'm so glad that SEAO is finally getting a good tournament for people from all over the region to come together, because there's people from all over this area of the continent that's coming and playing Shadowverse, and it's really good to see all of them coming together here.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of country, very diverse pocket of the world right here, right?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be any surprise to see five different countries represented in this top 8.
Yeah. And some of these players are, even though they're new, they're already making a name for themselves. Like Popo really just kind of showed up out of nowhere last month in the Rotation Cup, and now he's already known around this region as the person who has the devil's luck. He's getting lucky, he's making it through, but he's also a skilled player in his own right. So, all right.
And let's go back to let's head to the draft for our first game. This is going to be Mr. Popo versus VS Styx.
Okay, so this is Popo's draft. Looks like he picked Dragoncraft as his first class. What do you think? Like, you've been playing Take-Two recently, huh? So have you been...
Recently, I've been grinding Take-Two, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's fun to play. Well, but Dragon, I wonder. You gotta wonder what his other class picks were.
Yeah, right? That's what I was
Dragon,
thinking.
in my opinion, not the most fun play in Take-Two.
Like, for me, I would say that Dragoncraft, out of all the classes, is near the bottom. Like, with Runecraft probably being the hardest to pilot, although it is still possible. But Dragoncraft here, the good thing is that they do have some good value plays in the format, but they just also have a lot of cards that aren't really very efficient in dealing with the board, or aren't really big enough bombs to survive, especially compared to the other classes. So maybe he's just comfortable with the class, though, and I'm really interested to see, like, maybe he's just good at Dragoncraft.
Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine that's the case for him to pick this out of a selection of 3 different possible classes, right?
I think, like Clarity said in the Take-Two training video that we did a couple weeks back, well, a big part of it, rather than tier list also, is just player, comfortableness with the class that they pick. Like, maybe Popo is just really comfortable with Dragoncraft as a class.
Yeah, comfort is always more favorable, I guess. Whatever a tier list says, man. If you're comfortable playing the mid, like the quote unquote lowest tier class or character, sometimes that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Sometimes that alone is going to make a big difference in the gameplay, especially in tournaments.
Especially in Take-Two, where you can't really build your deck. You just have to sort of go by feel of, oh, this is an interesting card. Maybe this will work in my deck, and try to like build it out, basically improv style.
Yeah,
and if you're comfortable with the class, then that's better.
And so look at this dragon pick. You got to imagine Waters of the Orca and then Canyon of Dragons. That's got to be a pick.
I think so.
Yeah,
as well.
2 very high value cards, right?
Yeah, Waters of the Orca is so great because it's so flexible. It has all those enhanced abilities that you can play it on 2, 4, 6, 8, or 10.
You get free flood no matter, and you get to choose how big of a value you want to get out of it, right? Anytime you can play it, and you get a pretty good return out of it. Canyon of the Dragon speaks for itself. 7. Once you hit turn 7 and you're able to play that card, you get a 5/5 monster at the end of every turn. That's not so easy to deal with.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty. And Take-Two kind of differs from Constructed in that sense, where cards that have a lot more value tend to win out.
Yes.
Because you can't build a deck so optimized that you need cards that individually get you a lot for one card spent.
Which is one reason why we see kind of Runecraft kind of struggle typically in this format, right? Decks that you're typically building around certain strategies and building around certain synergies. When you faced with this Take-Two format where you have to build a random deck out of these choices of cards, you don't always get the opportunity to be able to build that kind of synergetic deck.
Like, I don't know about you, but like when I picked Runecraft and Take-Two, and okay, I'll start with a Spell Boost deck, and then the next pick is 2 Earthrights, and I'm like,
exactly. But on that same token, that's one reason why we see classes like classes like Portalcraft, classes like Forest do really well in this format because a lot of their cards kind of just naturally synergize. You're able to kind of make these free-flowing strategies as you go.
Right. All right, looks like VS6 picked Bloodcraft here. I think Bloodcraft is one of the better classes in the format as well.
Yeah,
I would put it like 2nd.
This is one that you were talking about earlier. This is another one, really strong one.
Although, you know what? Popo did manage to pick up a Moon and Sun, and that's a really powerful card in the format. Just infinite value. Again, value is so important in Take-Two, and having a threat that you just never run out of resources is so great.
Yeah, and you either get, turn 3, whether you want to play it on turn 3 or you want to wait for the enhance.
Right, exactly.
Either way, it's going to come on back.
Wow, okay. I can see why people have been calling Popo the Devil's Luck. Getting Dragon Oracle on turn 2 in take 2, of all things. That's a little bit...
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate for VS6 a little bit, yeah. Although, VS6 is putting quite some pressure on the board as well. So as Popo here, I'd imagine that you'd play the Moon and Sun. Not really seeing any other plays here. Amaterasu form. Just to recover a bit of defense. You know, you don't want to get run over too hard against Bloodcraft. Now, one of the reasons why Bloodcraft is so powerful in the format is that not only does it have a lot of 2-for-1 cards, like we see in hand already, Big Knuckle Bodyguard and Scarlet Sabriel are proving my point, but they're also just really good at aggressing the board. And in Take 2, if you're just trying to go for some value games, Bloodcraft can kind of sneak some wins in from behind.
It's very easy, like you said, for them to just run over you before you even get a chance to get started.
Tempo, yeah, exactly. So Popo's just thinking.
And that's the thing with Blood. You can't afford to let them get control early on. A lot of their pieces typically they have these lower cost pieces that end up having decent value, right? Really good board control, and they're able to benefit from that. You don't want to let them get out the gate ahead.
Now, Popo just had to evolve into the Goblin Leader there. There's no way you can leave that out. Goblin Leader making a Goblin at the end of every turn. Again, some of those things are, the more value it generates, the more powerful it is in the format. Turn 5 for VS6 here. He does have either the Scarlet or the Big Knuckle Bodyguard. Going for the Scarlet here works out a little better. Is he going to evolve into one of these, or is he just going to go face? That's one of the questions you have to ask. Looks like
Here we
he
go.
is.
Evolving Scarlet.
Makes sense. Run into the Orca, because you run into the Amaterasu, he can just play it again anyway. Ooh.
Yeah, Styx now with a good health lead, but
yeah, it's just going to be really annoying to deal with this Scarlet Sabriel. 4 defense, not a really great way to deal with it.
it's the Bane factor.
The Bane is what yeah, exactly.
Bane, of course, meaning that when you attack the card, for you new players that don't play so much Shadowverse, maybe you don't know so much, that little Grim Reaper scythe underneath the Scarlet Sabriel, it means whenever you attack that monster, you'll instantly die.
Yeah.
It's essentially,
the follower attacking into it will automatically be destroyed, even if it has more health total than the attack. Playing the Heroic Dragon Slayer and evolving it to run into the Scarlet, that's interesting. Just getting a small follower out on board and just evolving it. That's a lot of resources invested into one follower.
Yeah, that's the problem too, right?
Exactly.
It never feels good when you have to sacrifice an Evo to get rid of just a Bane card effect like that.
Yeah.
But in this case,
not much choice, honestly.
Yeah, he has to find some kind of way to get rid of some of those followers.
If Popo can survive through the next couple turns, he has a chance to stabilize and try and run VS6 out of resources. Because VS6... Okay, never mind. He'll never run VS6 out of resources, just drawing the Phantom Cat off the top. Phantom Cat drawing 2 cards. Not dealing any damage, but it doesn't matter. Drawing 2 cards is so important.
Yeah, the draw is the big win, right?
It's huge.
The damage is just bonus.
And it gets to even save an evolution point here, because he's so far ahead of the board in front of Popo right now. And this is where I'm starting to imagine, like, what other classes was Popo offered in his pick?
I mean, at this point, again, you know, you have to imagine he said straight up, I'm most comfortable with Dragon. It's not, even if it doesn't work out this game, right? You know, you still have to respect that decision.
Grafman, your captain, is this a really good play? Gets to run into the Phantom Cat and not take any damage at all because of the effect.
Yeah.
And now he has quite the large body himself.
Then put that, those Tart Man legs. Oh man, I get so confused looking at him.
Is that a Dark Feast bat in VS6's deck? Now that is fun. We haven't seen a lot of self-damage yet. Basically none. But we got the Big Knuckle Bodyguard in hand. We got the Scorpius. You could start trying to build that up, but it seems like a very unreliable game plan. Probably... how do you deal with this Gruff Mountaineer captain?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, what does VS6... What's the line of play here? I mean... He has Hector, right?
Yeah, I think you have to play the Scorpius and evolve it just to get rid of this Gruff Mountaineer. Oh yeah, the Visago can give it Rush. See, this is one of those things. This is what's fun about Take 2 is that there's some cards that you don't really usually see that you have to start thinking about. That Visago into Scorpius plays really heads up.
Yeah, really good combo.
There. Yeah. All right, 8 play points on Popo's side. The Dragon Handspur's Overflow effect is active, allowing him to draw a card with it. So he could Dragon's Hand Spur into the 3-2 and then try and draw something else to play. Looks like that's the play. Ooh, would have liked to see that Blazing Breath a little bit earlier, but can still play either the... Yeah, the Moon and Sun seems like the best play here.
Gonna offer Skion. No, Amatoras.
Yeah, just trying to get the defense back. Yeah, because, again, if you're at a low enough defense total, Bloodcraft can kind of sneak up on you and start doing lots of burn damage. There's that big knuckle. Such a great card to take too. Used to be a rotation staple, a constructed staple, but ever since the nerf, a little less so, but still good in this format.
It's turn 9 at this point for Mr. Popo, so...
I kind of like that Drake, but it looks like he's going to go for the Elder Dragon. Sorry, the Elder Tortoise. Not a dragon. Still in Dragoncraft somehow. It's a tortoise. Not sure how that works.
It's kind of a dragon. Right?
How is that kind of a dragon? In what way? It's a tortoise. So I think he's going to evolve this over the BKB. Most likely. Ah, we can just play the Amaterasu, involve the Amaterasu over and try and get a little bit more defense.
Yeah, like you say, gonna Evo and go over it.
And Elder Tortoise does a lot of work in Take-Two, and it's a card you don't really see in Constructed at all. But again, in these Take-Two games where it goes a little bit longer, your decks aren't really as optimized, being able to recover an Evolution Point is huge. And Evolution Points are so important in this format. Styx with 9 play points himself. Does have the Lion Champ, but that Hector not active is kind of a hassle. Dark General also not active. It's kind of an awkward total here. And I'm pretty sure the Dark Beast Bat doesn't do anything. What VS6 has right now in his hand is a hand full of beefy dudes that don't actually do much in the grand scheme of things. I think probably the Lion Champion might be the best thing to play down. Otherwise, they're just bodies. Just Darky's batting. I actually don't know. Is this 2 damage? Looks like it.
Yeah, like you said, the problem is it didn't really do much,
yeah,
right?
Like it just comes back.
It put a body out there, but
yeah,
when all you do is send Sun and Moon essentially just back to their hand.
Yeah, exactly. That's the power of Moon and Sun in the format. It's just it keeps coming back.
Like we said earlier, right? This format, a lot of it revolves around value, card value.
You never want to run out of stuff, and Moon and Sun is like really good.
Yeah, for a card that, again, like you said earlier, continues to come back into your hand, continues to play out, come back. You always keep it. It's something you can always have in your back pocket. That's very, very high value. And now Popo taking a minute to think about it.
So how much damage does this Frenzy Drake actually do? It only does 2 damage. So it's actually not very good as a clear right now. And doesn't even if it plays the Frenzy Drake and trades the 2-4 and it doesn't do anything. So playing the Bane just seems like the best option here. Makes sense to me. Dealing with this 5-5, I guess you just leave it up. See, it's kind of scary to leave up a 5-5 on the enemy side, especially if they're playing Bloodcraft though.
Yeah. Especially when you're down on HP.
And looks like Popo's actually going to start trying to rush him down with this 3-1 all of a sudden, instead of the Amaterasu. Or maybe he's playing the 3-1 because it trades better into the Dark Beast Bat with the Tortoise as well. Mr. Full Moon on VS6's side is a little bit interesting. Being able to reduce the Bane to a 1-5, but it doesn't really matter. You know, trading wise, if you have Bane, you might as well have Infinity.
You still have to deal with the Bane.
That's the problem, and this Bane kind of makes all of VS6's wards kind of a little ineffective. So I guess the Dark Beast Bat kind of has to trade into it. Just playing the Hector out. Oh, it's actually active. That's right. He's just gonna rush down face. I like this. I like this play a lot better than I was talking.
Warded up too.
Ooh, Divine Retribution. That could do some work actually, but it's kind of awkward with this current hand. Let's see. The Divine Retribution destroys the bat, right? And then I guess you could trade everything in and still survive. But Popo doesn't know that. You know, for all he knows, VS6 might have a Razor Claw in his hand, but.
Yeah, that's the other thing about playing Blood. You always have to be worried about that, especially when it gets to the very end and you have such low HP. You're always worried about just the pocket Razories, right?
Razory Blood, Razory Claw rather, and Dark Generals.
Yeah.
And we see one in hand also. So.
The cards we're referring to obviously are going to they deal direct damage to the face. ignoring the board.
I really do think that the Divine Retribution has to be played here. You just got to clear the board and try and survive as best you can at this point. And, you know, Popo drawing so many neutral cards, making this Frenzy Drake a lot less effective. 9.77 deal 1 damage to the board. Not the best thing. Trading in here.
Trays, but she always comes back. The tortoise goes down.
Now this is interesting. Just opting to get more bodies on the board rather than the enhanced effect of the Divine Retribution. That makes sense. Because you can't finish off VS6 in the next turn or even the next 2 turns. So you don't want to be putting them closer to Vengeance regardless. So just trying to build up your board presence here. Popo playing that way. I get it. And this is the awkward thing, man. You don't deal with the Bane. You just... all these big wards don't really mean anything. So it's kind of awkward for VS6 here. Just playing on this Lion Champion knowing he's just going to get traded into.
Yeah, and Lion Champion, another really good value card, but like you said, up against the Bane, it doesn't mean anything.
Bad Katha can buff this whole board, but I don't think that's the play, because it's not lethal. I guess he's going for it. That 4-2 has an ignore ward, so it actually can go through. But he's just going to trade it in anyway. Actually, that's a pretty good play regardless. You build up a really strong board presence here. I'm just really worried about that health total. Like, if I'm Popo, I'm like, he's got a Razor in hand. You know? Like, that's what I would be thinking. So, like, my play there instinctively is to go more defensive, but...
And you see he opts... Again, he knows he's not going to be able to kill him this turn or next turn. So he opts to do 4 damage, bring him down to 11 health, keep him just outside of Vengeance.
But VS6 top deck the Vania Nightedge Vampire doing 2 damage to both leaders and then playing the Dark General. Oh, and that's one of those things, you know, like Popo had such a commanding board presence there, but because VS6 was able to just chip him down throughout the course of the game, like I was saying, like Bloodcraft just has that ability to just sneak up on behind you and just play all their burn. It's like, oh, well, I guess I'm dead.
Yeah, well played from VS6 there. It was fun to watch. I think Popo he put himself in good position to be able to fight back and be able to take that potentially.
He was this close to stabilizing. Yeah. This close. But, you know, that Phantom Cat on curve, that top deck Vania with a Dark General in hand when you're just outside of Vengeance, you know. VS6. Maybe VS6 has the Devil's Lock and Popo's reputation is going challenged here.
Huh. I didn't think about it that way, but yeah. So game 1 goes to VS6. And this is our quarterfinals match, correct?
And remember, this is single elimination. You lose, you're out.
Oh, man.
It is high stakes, man. It's really high stakes. It's rough. And remember, this tournament and all information on all the tournaments can be found on ShadowverseOpen.com. If you want to talk about the Contenders Cup coming up, you want to see what's going on with the World Grand Prix, how to get there, how all these tournaments link together, make sure to visit ShadowverseOpen.com. That's how you get all the details on the roadmap of tournaments for the year.
Yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at SideGames Esports and be able to stay up to date with all things going on Shadowverse right now. There's a lot of stuff going on, not just in Southeast Asia, Oceania, but you got to remember EU.
That's right.
North America. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm especially looking forward to those Contenders Cups and those World Circuit events just to be able to get into the World Grand Prix later this year. Absolutely.
So that was our first game there. What's your opinion? You changed it all in terms of like how good Dragoncraft is versus Bloodcraft?
I mean,
it kind of just proved us.
Yeah, I think it kind of just proved you right? Popo had to do a lot of work, had to make some really calculated plays just to be able to get himself back in the mix. But then he just top deck Vayne on the other side. It's just like, well, okay.
It's a pretty good draft on VS6's side for sure. Bloodcraft just has so many tools, you know. Those 2-for-1s were killer. That Scarlet Sabrier, that Big Knuckle Bodyguard.
Yeah.
All those cards are just insane.
Well, you get a kill and some damage, and then you get the added board presence too.
Yeah.
It's I guess trademark of that class. It's kind of become that way, I'd say.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's interesting because Take-Two doesn't have Tempest of the Gods. Like in terms of rotation, they're 1 expansion less than rotation format.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see how these classes play out in terms of when they don't have Tempest, how good they are.
Yeah, and that's something that we talked about earlier. That's one reason why Portalcraft is a little bit stronger here, right? Portalcraft has a smaller pool of cards. They only have 2 expansions to be able to choose from. So you're more likely to be able to get a lot of those key pieces and a lot of those high-value pieces that you would normally find in a high-level Portalcraft deck.
All right, we're back at the draft. This is Popo yet again, choosing Swordcraft this time.
Yeah,
I think it's a little bit higher performing than Dragoncraft.
I'd say so, yeah. The thing is, so you're going to aim to get, two to three big pieces, right? But in general, you're just trying to outvalue them, right?
Get a lot of board flood, and the great asset to Swordcraft in this format compared to other classes is that they have by far the highest amount of rush in any class, except for like Portalcraft with ancient artifacts. They have, in terms of followers, they just have so many things with rush, and if you can trade and you can dictate the pace of the game, you're kind of in a really good position. Especially if the thing you're trading in doesn't get destroyed as well, then you're just doing 2-for-1s all over the place, and that's the beauty of Swordcraft.
And there you go. That's another big body. When you get Vols and Frontline Cavalier on the same pick, that's
in the same pick.
That's a big one.
Vol's such a huge card. One of the new cards in Dawnbreak, Nightedge. Pretty much good in any format. Because that Holy Pure Realm, that Fatal Spellbound, both of them really great. And the versatility of the card as well.
Yeah, of course. Vol's showing off something that's really common in Dawnbreak, Nightedge. I guess like the theme of the expansion is in that it's a choice card. You get to pick either a 1-cost spell or a 5-cost spell. The 5-cost spell, you're able to banish anything. The 1-cost, anything with 3 defense or lower, correct?
And it's so powerful because it's so versatile, right?
Yeah. You put it out there in any situation. You're able to just pick and choose what spell you want to use. What you want to prepare for. Do you want to get rid of something on his side right now, or do you want to save that big 5 spell banish for something big later?
Exactly.
And then you see the other one, Bladed Hedgehog. Got to go fast. Look at him on the right side.
I like how production just put up the Hedgehog there, like in advance before we even talked about it.
It's hard, man. Ooh.
I think you go Happy Pig here, right? Happy Pig. Oh,
yeah,
no.
Happy. Well,
going for the Tartman and the Evolution?
I would pick Happy Pig, right? Yeah. I would pick Happy Pig, but you could also see the right side. The right side in that case would also be good.
Barbarossa is such a huge get. Again, another follower that just keeps coming
recycling,
back.
Recycled presence. But the other one, Lancer. You got to talk about Lancer too. If in the event that you get down and they get a lot of board flood and a lot of board presence, all of a sudden you have that Lancer. If you can have him at the right time, just wipe it.
And I'm liking that draft, man. Lots of rush, Valses, Frontline Cavaliers, lots of board flood.
Lots of probably some quick bladers in the mix
probably.
too. We saw at least 2 or 3 quick bladers and Master Samurais in the mix as well.
And I think that Barbarossa is huge. I think Barbarossa might be the best card for Swordcraft and Take-2 just period.
It's definitely a high value piece for sure.
So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully Popo can bring this Swordcraft deck to its natural conclusion.
That's what I'm trying to see. Let's go, Popo. Let's go.
You like Swordcraft, right? That's your favorite class.
Of course I do, man. I'm all about the low effort stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
Wow.
What? No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to me.
Yeah. No, you're right. I just I'm waiting for the salty Swordcraft mains to.
What? Why would they be salty? They know what's going on.
Yeah, they know.
As kin, you know what I'm talking about. Come on now.
All right.
And it looks like we're going in the game too.
Here we go. Popo versus VS6. Now VS6 is picking Dragoncraft.
Oh, what is going on?
What is happening? Maybe he wants to show off that Aldos leader. Is what it is.
Or maybe this is his way of talking smack. He's like, Popo, you thought you were a beast with Dragon?
Yeah.
You tried to step to me with Dragon? Watch this.
Yeah, I'll show you how it's done. Oh no, those are some interesting cards. Now, Zunichi Dragon's Flame, if you can get you can save the Evolve for that card, that ends up being a huge board swing. And speaking of cards that aren't as good in constructed as they are in Take-2, we have that Explosion as well, which we've never seen.
Yeah, that's true, right?
But it does so much work in this format. It just clears everything. All right, that Evolution coming down. And on VS6's side, Dragon Oracle. Yeah, that's a good one. Not actually opting not to go for it, just trying to draw through the deck a little bit more.
Wants to get his draw off with the Musician, right?
I like that.
Get your draw off. Now all of a sudden on Popo's side, he has options, right? Master Sam, Holy Bear Knight, he can ward up with that.
I think you just play on curve. You play the Master Sam right now. You do double tutor.
I agree, yeah.
Oh no, actually playing the ward up. Now this does get a little bit punished because VS6 does have the Dragon's Breath in hand.
Yeah,
the Blazing Breath, rather. That goes here, this trades. Then I think he has the time now to ramp. I would really like to see the Dragon Oracle here. Yep. I like this. He's He's going to reach turn 7 in time to coincide with an evolve turn, which is why it's so important to ramp there, because you can evolve on curve with Zernitra.
Yeah.
That is huge. Okay. Turn 4. Homebound Mercenary, just for the enhanced effect. Not bad, just playing stuff on curve. This is interesting. I really like Galua. I think Galua is pretty slow and constructed, but it works so well in Take 2 because it draws you cards or removes things. Again, that versatility. And in Take 2, drawing cards and removing things are both really good things to do. So it ends up being quite a high value card.
Like you said, that's part of value, how you interpret value in this game, right?
Hey, the Tart Man coming back in. I feel like Popo is drafting Tart Man each time just for you. So you have something to look at.
It's not for me. It's for he likes it too. He knows what he's he knows what he's talking
it's
about.
It's for the people. It's for everyone. Yeah, everyone loves Tart Man. 5 play points. The Hector, like, I'm not so sure about people picking Hector in this format because you don't really often get that many neutral picks in the first place, and then Hector doesn't really get the
yeah, it's kind of variable, right?
Yeah.
Depends on the rest of your draft.
I guess sometimes you just want a 5 play point 4/4 with Ward. And there's another Divine Attribution on the play of Popo. That's a card that's been a real sleeper. Not played and constructed at all, but huge in this format. And there's Bane. As we've established, Bane is cheating. So somehow Popo's going to have to deal with that. And it's kind of unfortunate Popo didn't really get any of his good rush stuff.
Yeah, for sure. We were looking for the quick bladers or, you know, something that he could put out early on to get some pressure, but now he's have to imagine
just playing the Master Sam.
Master Sam?
He
Evo?
can,
Yeah, here we go.
He'll double trade here. Can run into the horse boy
and then run into the Bane piece.
The Bane boy, yeah.
That way at least he clears the board for that one card.
Those are the official terms, by the way. The horse boy and the Bane boy.
Bane boys, let's go.
Just a mammoth. Just play the biggest, chunkiest thing. Let Popo have to evolve into it. That's fine. I like this. I like this a lot.
The Ray Romano mammoth. You ever seen Ice Age?
Kidding me? Of course I've seen Ice Age. This is rough, man. I mean, you couldn't like play the Tart Man and evolve it. That doesn't feel very good, does it?
Especially, man. Like at this point.
Why are y'all picking Tart Man? I don't get it. Unless you're like just doing it for fun. The problem with Tart Man is that even though the evolve effect can potentially be powerful, it's the fact that he doesn't gain any stats on evolve. That's his downfall. Now, I like how VS6 is really conservative with his evolve points here because he knows if he ever falls behind, that Zernitra plus evolve is just like an instant comeback switch. So I like the fact that he's been playing it safe, holding it back.
Keep it in your back pocket. Don't put it out there.
He's not really have to react too much. Right now, it's Popo who's on the back foot reacting all the time.
Yeah, he's got a big piece to go over, too.
Just, oh, man. Nothing in his hand gets rid of this mammoth. It's just kind of unfortunate.
Well, there's one thing.
He has to evolve the Tart Man.
There's one thing. Is he going to do it?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Because if you bounce it back, it's just going to come back. And you waste an evolve point, right? I guess you just kind of have to take the 7 on the chin. It's rough. I think Frostfire Dragon might work really well here. It deals with the board. plan. Okay.
Wow.
Sure. I guess that'll just go away. There are other plays though. He could play the full moon, but I don't think you need to. Yeah, you probably want to get rid of this just because you don't want to proc its effect over and over again. So, and Zernitra isn't really a great way to deal with this either. What you if you play the Zernitra and the Draconic Lance, that actually fits on Curve because playing the Zernitra reduces the cost of the Draconic Lance to 4, I believe. He doesn't want to do that. Just doing this. Really? Okay, he transformed the Handspur in his hand into another Handspur. I was gonna say if he transformed that Zernitra, I think that would have been a mistake. Yeah, I think you just play the Gruff on your captain here.
At this point, yeah.
Just a rush.
Rush, you still get to maintain it.
See, this is why the Hector, I don't really like the Hector as a pick, because it just never activates. You just have to play it as a body, I guess.
Yeah, as opposed to when we see it in rotation format, right? We usually see in take 2, just because you don't have control over the way that you construct your deck outside of this, it's normally just going to be played as just a 5 cost 4/4, right?
Right. Yeah. Again, cards that rely mostly on synergies just don't really work out very well.
I mean, they can, just like unreliably, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. You know what? A 4/4 with ward isn't the worst thing in the world either. I guess just play that down, and I would like to see the Gruff on here.
Romeo.
Really? That is interesting. And spending the last evolve point as well. I guess saving the Gruff Mountaineer captain for a rainier day, because Dragoncraft can have like quite large threats as well. I don't know. I'm not sure about this. It's interesting though.
I wonder what he's expecting to make that play.
PDK. Whoa, okay. Oh, that card is huge! Avowed Strike is such a good card in this format. Not only does it deal like a bajillion damage, but it also draws you 2 cards when you play it for 7.
Yeah.
I've actually been really liking Avowed Strike and Constructed as well. I think it's super underrated right now. And I really like playing this out. Although it is kind of a shame that Popo does have the Assassination Jutsu in hand. Kind of deal with it. Oh, and there's the Barbarossa. Can Popo stabilize? VS6 is doing so well throughout this whole time, but I think he's playing a little bit maybe too conservatively lately. Having no threats on
It feels
board.
like he's been playing a little bit too passive. He's kind of like giving Popo a chance to, I think,
come back.
Yeah, to kind of make this closer than it should be.
And there's the Barbarossa. You just kind of have to play the Avowed Strike here now, huh? I think so. Oh, you can do that. It would have been so nice with that PDK, but that PDK, unfortunately, just kind of got targeted.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You can't leave that thing up.
That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
It takes time to marinate.
All right.
So his options here, of course.
Avowed Strike the Barbarossa, or Waters of the Orca. He
So
could
what's he
play
gonna
the Zernitra, but that's a little weird. Because you don't want the opponent to be able to play the Barbarossa for 2, right? That's just not a thing you want to be happening.
Uh-oh, free willing.
Oh well, here we go. This is. It's gonna be really sad if Popo draws the Lancer
I mean,
of the Tempest.
it's a sad movie, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you finally make friends with the.
You mean Free Willy?
Yeah, I mean, you make friends with the killer whale, and then you gotta set him free. I mean, come on, man.
You can't keep a killer whale though.
SeaWorld did it for years. They did it for years, bro.
See, this would have been the perfect time to draw Lancer of the Tempest, but I think VS6 was kind of gambling on the fact that in general, Swordcraft has more single target removal than board clear.
Yeah.
Other than Lancer of the Tempest.
Outside Lancer, again, like we said, we saw Lancer come up at least once in that draft.
Mhm.
You have to imagine
He picked it with the
yeah,
Barbarossa.
he picked it with the
So
Barbarossa.
it's in
yeah.
his deck somewhere. So unfortunate that he didn't draw it here, but
That's just how it goes sometimes, man. So Barbarossa, Redbeard, you got to make something happen, man.
it feels really bad running this to a 2/2. So I guess he's just gonna run into
Yeah,
the
run
face.
into run in the face. Put your Bear Knight up. You're buffed Bear Knight. It gets the enhance effect.
It doesn't have the evolve anymore for Zenitra, which makes Zenitra a lot worse. I think you have to play the Avowed Strike here, at least one of them. You don't want to run out of fuel, and if you can run Popo out of fuel, that's the ideal.
Yeah, and it's almost at that point. He doesn't have much left in his pocket.
I think you want to double trade 2 of these Orcas, at least, if not 3, and then Avowed Strike the Barbarossa, and make the Barbarossa become 8 cost. Although I guess it doesn't really matter, because Popo doesn't have that much in his hand regardless. Could put the Sunitra here, but I think that Avowed Strike's coming down.
Yeah, it looks like he heard you.
Although, you know what? He could play the Matilda and play the Fire Lizard onto the 3-1 and then double trade into the Barbarossa, but that works. Oh, I like this. If he plays the Fire Lizard and then the Mr. Full Moon and makes the Barbarossa really bad, and then just runs the 2/2/2s into face, I like that.
That's the other way to deal with that, right? If you got a big 5/4 piece that's going to keep recycling in and out, instead of playing into that, lower its value to the point where you don't even care. It's just a 1/4.
Yeah. And it works especially well because Popo just doesn't have that many cards.
Yeah.
And VS6 is just going to refill. Real nice. I like this play a lot. So now, this Barbarossa needs 2 turns to recycle itself. And VS6 can go ahead and play the Avowed Strike here to draw more cards. Or just finish him off. That's right.
That's lethal.
See, I was so focused on that Avowed Strike because I like
it happens, bro. It happens, bro.
I like that card so much. I'm like, I want to see it played. I didn't even need it.
And just like that, VS Styx from Vietnam.
He's showing how it's done with this Dragoncraft.
My man flexed. He came into this he said, "You play Dragon. You play Dragon and take 2. Watch this."
You call that playing Dragon? I'll show you how it's done. And
he got it done. Yeah, good stuff to him. Good stuff to him. At what point did the game change for you, Ignatius?
It's just one of the problems with Swordcraft is that if the intake 2 especially, so you can't tailor your deck to having more card draw, and if they can run you out of resources and you just can't get enough back, you're out of fuel and you just can't do anything. And in that game specifically, I think VS6 had a lot of on-board presence as well to contest with the Swordcraft. So the Swordcraft couldn't really rush him down as well. And he also didn't have enough resources, so the Dragoncraft just kind of outmaneuvered it at every level. Could be due to draw, could be due to just the Dragoncraft having a really well-built deck, but at the end of the day, the Swordcraft just didn't have enough refuel to keep going.
Yeah, we're going to take another look at the bracket real quick before we go into our next game. For me, man, it's when that brother came in twirling his mustache, bro. Mr. Full Moon.
Yeah,
to the rescue again.
Making the Barbarossa less effective was huge as well.
Now here we go. In semifinals, you see, so we just saw VS6 versus Popo. VS6 obviously moved on. But his opponent next is going to be, of course, your man DIS.Gomms. Gomms is another player, was currently ranked top 10, I believe.
Gomms is currently 10th place with 24 points. And you know what? And Gomms has been a performer in these tournaments in the past. He was quite a powerful player last season. And it's really good to see him coming back, especially when he was kind of absent from the top 8 last month. So I'm glad to see him back. And, yeah, it's good to see. And we also have Brangwin and Random Mystery. Random Mystery, of course, a player that we saw last month, popping up in the top 8 of the Southeast Asia, Oceania, Shadowverse Open, Dawnbreak, Nightedge Rotation Cup. I'm learning from you. I'm starting to get it.
It's a mouthful, bro. I can't. Bro, whatever the next expansion is named, I can't wait, bro. I hope it's less than 4 syllables. But
and
you see, Brangwin took a 2-0 win over Kakusaki, who was another top competitor in our standings.
That is fascinating because Brangwin is like a completely unknown name we've never seen before, and Kakusaki is 8th place in the standing.
That's what happens, man. All these top players, they're feeling themselves, walking with their chest up, chins held high, top player privilege. We say we're going to play first to 2 in the offline gathering. They're asking for 1 more. They want hand warmers and all this other stuff. Then the unknown players come in there and just throw grapes on their foreheads. Get out of here. Yeah, Kakusaki, thanks for playing. So, yeah, Brangwin and Random Mystery going to go up against each other in the semis, and then Gomms versus VS6. DIS.Gomms versus VS6. And
look at these decisive games in the quarters. 2-0,
2-0, 2-0.
Yeah.
Wash. All right, Random Mystery, you kept it close. You nice guy. You gave him 1 game. Spotted him one. Yeah. Take 2, man. I'll spot you 1.
Yeah. I'm glad to see the bracket is a mix of new players and old players, though. Like I said,
that's what you want, man. You want new blood.
That's right. And you can, too. Make sure to sign up for the next tournament as well, whenever you can.
So, yeah, some of our veterans, again, you got to imagine it's really frustrating for some of these players who have been playing and competing, right? you're on the leaderboard. You're super close to being able to maintain those first 2 spots, who, again, are going to get entry into the Contenders Cup later this year. The first 2 spots of our league standings at the end of the season are going to get, again, the ability to play for more, right? So these guys who've been playing and playing, they go into this Take 2 bracket. They just need to get many points. They need to get to this level, and then they just finish just short. That's painful.
Yeah, it hurts. But you know what? There's still a lot of opportunities to come
sure.
back. We got the next Unlimited Cup on June 16th.
June 16th, yeah. Of course, you got to do it right. You need to hold on.
That's okay.
The Southeast Asia, Oceania, and Shadowverse Open Dawnbreak Nightedge Unlimited Cup on June 16th. That's how you got. You remember what SEAO stands for?
I remember.
Then colon Shadowverse Open. Then colon. I'm pretty sure that's a syntax error. I'm pretty sure you can't do that.
Just put a hyphen.
Just hyphen, yeah. Dawnbreak Nightedge, and then another colon. Take 2. Give me one more. DJ Khaled. I'll eat that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, lots of other opportunities, guys. And, again, like we said earlier, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at SEAO Esports. Stay up to date with all things Shadowverse, all the tournaments going on all around the world. Remember, we're not just here. We're in Europe. We're in America. Join us, man. It's fun. It's really interesting to watch.
And these tournaments all build up to that Contenders Cup, all build up to that Grand Prix. ShadowverseOpen.com. Make sure to visit that site. So all the updates on league standings, as well as, just information on all the tournaments in general.
And just like that, we're going into the draft. Brangwin versus Random Mystery.
Here we go. I'm actually really excited to see this. We're at Random Mystery. We've seen last month in the Rotation Cup up against Brangwin, completely new name, like we said. Here we go. Random Mystery playing Bloodcraft, looks like.
And again, this is another one of your picks for top classes in this format, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think Portalcraft is going to be #1 because Take 2, if you can make it consistent,
there's a few reasons.
Then you're fine. And Portalcraft has so few cards compared to the other classes that they can get easily their best cards.
It's like so few cards. They're able to get their best cards pretty reliably in a Take 2 format.
And a lot of them have Rush. That's the thing.
A lot of them have Rush. But then there's just also like a natural synergy that they have with a lot of their cards, right?
But
even their decent value pieces, they kind of play into each other.
Exactly, because all their vengeance stuff works together. There's no like with Runecraft, the problem is that you have these 2 opposing forces.
Yeah.
With the
you have to kind of if you're constructing a deck, you have to pick one, right?
Right. Exactly.
And you go with that. And in Take 2, they're not going to give you the option to pick. But with Portal, you don't really have to pick. You just kind of just pick the normal good stuff, and it just works.
And same with Bloodcraft. And now this is why I think Bloodcraft is sort of trailing just slightly behind Portalcraft in general, depending on how it's built. All the vengeance stuff just works together, and all of the burn gets you closer to vengeance, and it all just kind of works together real nice. As well as just, of course, like the 2-for-1s we were talking about earlier, and all the Banes as well. Oh, this is a weird pick.
What do you pick in this situation?
This is weird. I think you pick the Jormungand.
I would have to imagine, the Jormungand and Lilith pick, right?
Lilith, yeah.
Why though? Because I would think because Jormungand you want, and then Lilith.
If you have self-damaging effects, then those actually can do work. But Marduk isn't going to do anything for you in Blood. And the Queen of the Dreadsea, I think, lost a lot of power with the rotation of Tempest of the Gods. There's no more Zeus to Queen of the Dreadsea.
True, yeah.
Here we go. Random Mystery, part of Dawnbreakers now. As we were saying, like all these, because of the developing scene, it's always really nice to see that these players who are just up and coming are now starting to be
recognizing, starting to get, the recognition and now support that they deserve, right? That's something cool to see in this developing region for Shadowverse.
Random Mystery now with Dawnbreakers, Riripone, we've seen him before. Now he's with Mana Surge, one of the biggest teams there is.
Wow, that's crazy, yeah.
It's really, really nice to see that this region's finally coming up, man. Touches me in the heart.
Yeah, you've been talking about it, man. This is your place, bro. This is your place. Exactly. You've been waiting to see this kind of happen.
I was out last year in December when I was at the World Grand Prix. I was like, well, where are we at, man? And then they announced, oh, by the way, next year, SEAO coming. And I'm like, yes, this is our time.
Yeah, dope to see.
To shine.
Always good to see your hometown heroes and the players who are representing your region the most consistently, right? Always cool to see them get the recognition and get the support.
All right. Looks like we're going
into the game. So now we're heading back into match 2, Brangwin versus Random Mystery. Look at Phantom Cat.
Curious to see what Brangwin brought here. So we have Random Mystery playing Bloodcraft. What did Brangwin choose out of his 3 picks? Looks like it is Havencraft.
Okay.
You know what? Havencraft ain't bad, and one of the key cards for Havencraft in this format, which we don't really see in Constructed, but is probably the best individual card out of all the cards Havencraft has, is Holy Lion Crystal. That card does so much work in Take 2, because it's infinite value that ends with 4/4 Storms.
Like you said, I feel like in rotation, you don't really... It's not really a heralded piece, right? But in Take 2, that card does work. A lot of heavy lifting.
And it's easy to assemble, too, because the cards that generate the Lion Crystals are bronzes and silvers. And we see one right now. We see the Peace Weaver in hand, free playpoint 3/2 with Ward that gives you a Holy Lion Crystal. Now, Random Mystery has a lot of aggressive tools here. Like, this is like a constructed aggro blood.
Jeez.
I've never seen one. But I think he's just going to play the Vanguard out. Vows.
I'd imagine you put the Vanguard out there early.
I like this. Just have a threat out there.
Pop it back to Brangwin. What's he doing?
Hati. That's interesting. Rush is good in Take 2, as we know. So it makes sense to me that he did pick it, but... Now, do you play... You've been playing a lot of Take 2 recently, right?
Yeah. Even not just recently, Randa, even since when I started playing, it's just a fun format.
So you played any Havencraft at all?
Haven? Yeah. I think it, like you said, I actually like Sword. I enjoy playing Sword in Take 2 a little bit more.
I feel you.
But yeah, I think it does pretty well. Obviously, the Holy Lion Crystals are really easy to use. You're not going to typically get the big rotation setups that you get, right? Because obviously you have to construct around a lot of those. But
yeah, there's no like Summit Temple.
Yeah. There's no like Take 2. Yeah, Summit Temple. But like you said, focusing on the higher value pieces, that's definitely one that you want to focus on.
And there is the Holy Lion Crystal in hand after playing the Peace Weaver as well. Again, it's that thing we were talking about. Value is the name of the game in Take 2. And infinite 4/4s with Storm? Yes, please. Now, Random Mystery has a Tsukuyomi you can just trade into here and play again if he wants.
Yeah. And it's going to come right back. It's the thing.
Whenever you see Moon and Sun in Take 2, you basically always pick it. It's like an instant pick for me. Now this is interesting. Actually spending the Razory Claw rather than saving it for a potential burn future, playing it on curve with another 2-drop, just trying to play the tempo-wise. Now, I kind of fear that you're going to run out of juice real fast.
Yeah,
to play it this way.
that's what my concern was. Razory typically, I mean, you'd want to save it for a little bit later, right?
Right. That is interesting. Especially now that Brangwin drew the boots, can deal with this easily. The 3-2 can trade over the 1-1 and start getting the Lion Crystal train off. Now, I have to imagine that he has more Lion Crystal generators in his deck if he's playing the Crystal now. It's either that or he recognizes that Random Mystery seems to be going for a tempo plan and just wants to get back on board as fast as possible. Yeah, Random Mystery has a lot of venomous bites here, which can deal with this Lion.
Yeah, a lot of poison in this deck.
It's so awkward now, though. See, this is why... Now he's at 5 and he doesn't have a 2-drop to combo off with.
Yeah.
Now he just has lots of
He's gonna have to play off curve either way.
It's one of those things where I think maybe playing those 2-drops last turn maybe wasn't worth it. Like sure it was on curve on that spots in a more critical situation. Whereas in the turn previously he had a bit more luxury of playing however he wanted. I imagine it's the Venomous Bite. Like how else are you dealing with this? Unless you want to evolve the Amaterasu over the 3-1. Looks like that's the play.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to do it.
Alright. Makes sense. I wonder what that Aether's going to pull. Like, how did Brangwin build this deck, I wonder? Oh! That's a Monk of Purification right there. That's a strong card in this format. It gives you 2 Holy Waters, Purified, I forget the name. It restores defense that draws you a card. Again, drawing cards is huge in Take 2.
Pops it back to Random Mystery.
Oh, okay. I guess you could just top deck a Jormungand.
Jormungand here. On turn 6.
Not bad. Brangwin's really missing Pure Annihilation right now. If he had a Banish, this would be great, but alas, again, in Take 2, you can't really decide your fate a lot of the time. You can't construct
Yeah, I
it
mean,
anyway.
that's just how it is, man. You got to do the best with what you got.
Oh, Brangwin just slams his ether. What's it pulling out? Oh, that's interesting. I guess he just wants the body. Like Kayan. Just to trade over the Jormungand.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to do it.
The Jormungand effect doesn't really do much anyway. Like, Random Mystery doesn't have self-pings in his hand. Although he may very well have more in his deck. There's one.
Yeah, pulls another Razory.
You have to deal with this Lycaon, clearly.
What are the lines of play for him to be able to do that from this position?
I like this, just the venomous bite.
Yeah, using up his bites.
I don't want to spend the evolve here, but we might not have a choice. But if possible, if I was Random Mystery, I would want to save the evolve potentially for the Rampaging Mammoth, just for a potential swing. Because otherwise he's just going to run out of resources real fast. Except for the Moon and Sun, which is obviously probably going to carry him until he finds more stuff. He could, yeah, just Moon and Sun. And he has to evolve this now. Because otherwise he's going to get run into with the boots. Well, he's out of evolve points.
Yeah, that's his last Evo point going for control here.
Interesting. It does kind of make the Red Hot Boots worse, because it can't trade it with this now. It doesn't ping it off, but... He's considering whether or not he wants to play the Serpent to prevent the 1 damage going into the Tsukuyomi. Is that relevant? Doesn't seem like so. Oh, wow! Okay! Black and Scripture, here we come.
Here we go, tea time. Into Scripture.
That's the perfect answer.
Spanish, yeah.
Wow, that is rough for Random Mystery. Now he needs to find a way to bring this back with no evolve points left.
Yeah,
It's painful. It's gonna be really hard to swing this back. That's why I would have really liked to see an evolve point save for this turn, because he had the Mammoth in hand. He could have made something happen there. Now he just has like really clunky stuff, and Brangwin with the evolution point always has the potential to dictate the trade and essentially dictate the entire pace of the game from this point on. And still at a really healthy defense total. Like, at this point, Random Mystery would have liked to chip him out a little bit more, but it's not going that way.
Like you said, he's going to put the Mammoth out there. But for Brangwin, not really sweating.
Ooh. Now that's a synergy. That's a synergy and a half.
Yes, that worked out really well.
Getting another Tin Soldier and another Tea Time just out there.
And able to erase the Mammoth's presence.
And playing Nisha just for the body. I imagine it's not played to prevent any damage. There's nothing that really threatens Brangwin here. Drawing a Sutunga to answer this Tea Time, but I think that's a little bit late. The combo kind of just went off on him. And a 3-2 for 6 isn't exactly what you'd be playing when you're behind. But like, what else can you do? Like, you could Venomous Bite the 2-3. That doesn't feel very good either. It's one of those situations where Random Mystery now is running out of stuff to do because Brangwin was just able to banish at Moon and Sun, whereas Brangwin himself is not running out of stuff anytime soon because he has that Monk of Purification to just keep drawing him cards.
Yeah, well, that's just a common issue with Blood in general, right? All too often, especially if you're playing that kind of aggro style, you'll definitely run out of options a little bit later. It's easy to run out of gas.
Making use of that Jormungand effect, though, being able to clear 2 things here. Not bad, not too shabby. Just how often can you get that effect off?
Knight, he's going to buff the Serpent.
I think this is a really safe spot for Brangwin to play Alexiel. Or he could go for the Lion Crystal trade. I think you want to play Alexiel now and then next turn maybe play 2 Lion Crystals. I think it's really safe for him to play Alexiel here. Of course, the Sutunga can then come down and make the Alexiel a little less good. It's just a really good body that you kind of just want to get down there. Playing the Monk of Purification for the Monastic Holy Waters. Never running out of fuel.
So now Satunga makes his appearance. Gonna banish the T-Time.
Honestly, not doing that much. Sure, it prevents a 4-5 body and prevents the Alexio, but like that T-Time did so much work already with that Star Princess.
It already got more than its share of value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hottie in the mix as well.
Just a 3-7 body, though. Doesn't get the rush because there's no evolved enemy followers in play. It's really underwhelming if it doesn't get the effect off.
Yeah.
Delirious Demon. Now that's going to be fun times. Does that actually work with the Jormungand? I feel like it would, right? And then... But even then, I don't know if it's enough, because you're just falling so far behind here. It's interesting. And Brangwin got his fair share of Lion Crystal generators as well, so...
Yeah.
Like long game, he's also kind of succeeding.
It's like when you have board presence, board control, and then like you look at the hand, and there's so many options for the future plays as well. So you call it a Delirious Demon out there.
Now, if this Delirious Demon stays up, it is going to do so much work with Jormungand. But Brangwin has the Divine Retribution in hand already to just instantly smite it from the heavens. So there's no way that thing's staying alive. And Random Mystery is completely out of gas. I think Random Mystery did make some questionable plays this game that led into the situation, like having that really awkward turn 5.
Yeah.
Spending his evolve points when you don't really need to. And this has to be, like, I imagine this is a retry. Playing that Divine Attribution is so powerful here. Just smiting that 4-6. Get out of town. 3-7 into the 3-2 hit phase. He's going to get the Lion Crystals out. I still think you played Retribution here. Yeah.
Retribution on it. Blessed be the Lord.
I like this too, though. Starting to get that Lion Train going. Although I'm not even sure if it's necessary, because Random Mystery is so out of resources, like, is it even going to go that long for the Lions to matter? Not so certain. But this Lion can just trade into the Scorpius and...
Yeah, I have to imagine, yeah, that's the play. Gonna run him out. Smack face.
Double Crystal.
Hold it 11, yeah, like, double Crystal up here, right, just to prep for the next turn?
Just play Crystal into Crystal. And also play the Monastic if you want, just to restore some health to yourself. Not that it's necessary. And this is the power of that Crystal, man. You just get so much value forever. And Random Mystery has nothing. That can run into a 2-2, but like, what's that doing, right?
Yeah, at this point, you need a little bit more than that.
I think this is a top left. Or at least, maybe not in a tournament when there's so much on the line. But if I was playing, you know, if I was Random Mystery right now, I'd probably top left it.
Nah, man, don't do that. Take it.
Never give up.
Take the lick. Take the lick, man. You're trading into that first crystal.
Base, base, base.
Base.
Alexiel.
Yep.
Oof. That is rough. And, you know, Bloodcraft... we've seen it perform, but when Brangwin has this incredible hand and board state and always having those Lion Crystals on to just keep getting Lions out, it's really tough to come back, especially when you spend all your resources that way.
And you've exhausted all your resources, and then at that point, it's just adding fuel to the fire.
I think the problem with that one was that Random Mystery was playing from behind basically the entire time, and he was spending a lot of his great resources that he could have been using to go aggressive to deal with a board set that he could never compete with.
And also, like you mentioned earlier, he wanted to really rely on Sun and Moon to be able to carry him until he got his good draws, but then Brangwin got that really clutch banish pull off top deck just to be able to say nope right off the bat.
That's one of the risks you take when you play against Haven, man. Haven is the banish class.
Yeah.
They have banish out the wazoo, and they have Black Inscriptor is in the basic set for them, so they always have it for take 2.
So game 1 going to Brangwin that time. I'm curious to see what the class changes this time are.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an upset. You would expect Bloodcraft to be a little bit more higher performing than Havencraft because Havencraft is so dependent on the line package. But you know what? It all depends sort of on your draft as well. So whatever tier list kind of goes out the window if you don't get the cards that you need, right? So
yeah,
it's kind of all depending on how you draft, what you get, what your draws are, and in a single elimination tournament.
I mean, that's just this
really high
format,
pressure.
dude. That's
Yeah,
just what it is.
It's a different way to play Shadowverse for sure. Take 2, a completely different facet of the game compared to rotation and unlimited.
That's why you watch it, though, man. That's why it's fun.
Yeah,
Right?
no, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. Because Bloodcraft, you know, is great, but sometimes that Havencraft draft just ends up being really good, and then you kind of just get run over, rather. Heading into the next game here real soon.
Yeah, so like you said before, throughout our bracket, we've seen a lot of just wash sets, right? 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. I mean, I hope this one isn't the same way. I think going in the semifinals, both of these players actually, up until this point, I want to say it's been 2-0 wins, maybe two matches in a row.
Seems that way.
Let's see if we can get a full set. Well, both of the players getting ready
real soon.
Yeah, and once again, guys, make sure that you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch at SEAO Esports to be able to stay up to date with all things Shadowverse. Again, we have our Unlimited Cup coming up on June 16th for Southeast Asia, Oceania, Shadowverse Open, Dawnbreak, Nightedge to Unlimited Cup. And you guys can actually check us out next week at DreamHack Twas.
Twas?
Yeah,
DreamHack Tours?
That's not how you. What do you mean? I took French before.
Is Twas how you pronounce it?
Yeah, it's Twas, yeah.
I don't doubt.
What do you mean?
Heavy doubt. But we are going to be there next week on the weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's pretty hype.
Yeah, make sure you hit us up out there if you're going to be there. Or even online, man. Just say what's up.
Come say hi. Oh, man, there's so many events going on. Like, it's actually, like, exciting.
It's that time of year, bro.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. That's just how it is. It's cool to see, though, man. A lot of people are excited for Shadowverse. A lot of people are getting out there on the road. This is a game that we can play on our phones, right? But it's cool for me to see people going places playing the game.
And you can get goodies, too. Like, at DreamHack Twas, was it?
Yeah, Twas.
Twas?
Yeah.
At DreamHack Twas, there's tons of goodies as well. So if you're in France, stop by. We'll be there.
And if you're never mind, don't worry.
What were you gonna say?
Don't worry about it. If you're a Tartman cosplayer, come holla at me. I'll shake your hand.
If you're a Tartman cosplayer, GIF, say hi.
I'll shake your hand. Or Vagabond Frog. If you're a Vagabond Frog cosplayer too,
you'll hit them up with your hotel room number.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right. And hey, don't forget, if you're new to the game as well, you can check out, I have a series of guides for beginners on my channel.
Yeah.
youtube.com/IgnitiusLP. And recently I did a video about meta decks to play in the rotation format. So if you're new to this game, you're browsing Twitch, you see the stream going on, you're like, what's this? What's happening? And you're curious, just head on over to youtube.com/IgnitiusLP.
Guys, it's really easy to watch this tournament, watch these top 8s, and I know you're thinking like it's a lot, looks like it's a lot of stuff going on, but the truth of the matter is some of these players are coming out of nowhere, right? We talked about that earlier. Some of these are established players in the Southeast Asia Oceania region, but they consistently, not just this tournament, but even last month, we've had some really big names, you know, top players on that leaderboard in Southeast Asia rankings, losing to people that we've never heard of before.
Get humbled.
It's exactly getting humbled. New players are coming into this game. You can be one of them. Make sure you check out the beginner resources that Ignitius has, or are available on Shadowverse Open on YouTube.
And you know what? That's kind of the beauty of a developing region, because you don't really have these established names yet. It's like whatever names are there can like be unseated pretty easily by whatever rising.
It's like you got the big bodies, but they're just walking around with their hands in their pockets. They can anybody can just kind of go up there and just gut check them real quick, right? But
that's a visceral analogy.
Well, I was trying, man.
No, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
They're walking out there, man. They've made names for themselves, right? They put together these big tournament performances, but they're not so unreachable to the point where they're untouchable or something. players are coming up, man. Players are coming up, coming out of the woodwork and just doing damage.
So if you want to sign up for these as well, it's all on Battlefy. Battlefy.com/Shadowverse-Open if you want to register for any tournaments in your region or otherwise. It's all there. All right, the two players just getting ready. They're taking deep breaths. It's high stakes. Single limb.
Yeah, once again, game 2 of the set between Brangwin and Random Mystery. Random Mystery, of course, got top 8 at the Rotation Cup last month. Malaysian player, correct?
Yep. I believe so. Random Mystery. Yep, Malaysian player, top 8 last month. And it's interesting to see. We have a Malaysian player and we have a Singaporean player here. There's a bit of a rivalry there. Neighbors.
Really? Would you say so?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the players that, who's the best out of these two countries.
Yeah.
Because we're right next to each other, right?
Yeah.
You can go to Malaysia by a bridge if you want. It's like
Really?
that. It's that close, yeah. You just drive on through a bus.
All right.
So, I like that. I like that that's a story you can tell here in this region is all these people from different countries.
That's the hot stuff, man. Yeah, we got to talk about that. Yeah, rivalries. Yeah, Singapore versus Malaysia. It's a hot one. All right.
Pretty sure Random Mystery does not want to wash out here. It's taking time to get ready.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, it seems that, okay. Looks like that they actually are drafting right now. But the spectator client didn't see that. So we'll jump into the game when it happens.
Yeah, that's fine, man. Hey, that's just as good. Surprise me.
Yeah, that's right. Blind. This is our blind round. We're not gonna be able to see what they actually picked until we get in there.
That'll make the top deck pulls that much more exciting. But what are some other cards, Ignidius, that, we talked about cards that do really well in the construct formats, like, for rotation, for example, that don't really perform so well in the Take 2.
Right.
What are some more cards that kind of we don't see so much in that rotation format that really excel in this gameplay?
It's interesting to see the difference in the formats because in Take 2 especially, again, there's such a high importance placed on value and considering your evolution points. So things that can efficiently remove large threats for very cheap, or things that can remove multiple threats in one card, those are really highly valued. So cards that you don't really see in Constructed that you might see in Take 2 that are a lot better in the format is stuff like Pitfall. 3 play point, just remove anything that attacks, right? So you can just remove anything basically for 3 play points. There's Divine Attribution, which we've seen in the past couple games.
We just saw it, yeah.
5 play points, destroy the highest attack thing of your opponents, or Enhance 8, also deal 3 damage to the opponent's defense. And there's also Holy Angel Altaya, and that's for neutrals. All these are neutral cards. Holy Angel Altaya, 5 play point 4/4, that turns an enemy follower, I think, into a neutral, and then has Clash deal 4 damage to the opponent follower if it's a neutral. So it ends up taking a lot of free trades against anything, especially if you can evolve it. In terms of cards that are good, if you evolve it, there's also like Keelan and Gygus and just like big beefy stuff that can 2 for 1. But yeah, other than that, it's just a value game, man. It's just all a value game. Like we saw that Holy Lion Crystal as well performing so well in Take 2. But
which we don't really see in rotation.
Well,
right?
yeah, because in rotation you have Summit, Temple, Heavenly Knight. Like why would you want to make a bunch of lions that take 9 million years to pop off, right?
But that's the cool thing about this format too, right? You can see cards that don't really get too much shine or play in those formats.
I mean, that's why I play Take 2, frankly. Like I like to see like how all these niche cards work together.
That's what I want to see, like exercising the niche cards, the unsung heroes, if you will.
All right, it looks like that lobby was bugged, but we are getting it back up, and we have the draft going on right now. Portalcraft. Portalcraft is strong. We've talked about this.
Yeah, this is man, I cringe every time I see the opponent come queue up with that portal on Take 2. But
yeah, it hurts. It really hurts. One of the big things we've said this before. One of the big reasons why Portalcraft is so good in this format is that they just have less cards than the other classes.
Yeah, this is the newest class in the game, right? So they've only been around for 2 expansions.
This expansion and the last one.
Yeah, this one and the last one. So they only have 2 possible expansion card pools to be able to choose from, while most other classes are choosing from 4. Right?
That's right.
So as a result, all the cards that are really good that you would be afraid of in most competitive formats, they're going to be available here in general. And then it works together pretty well. The synergy in general with Portal in this format is pretty good. You really don't have to pay too much mind to it.
Especially with artifacts, and especially because Portalcraft has more artifact cards than puppet cards anyway.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to just build that synergy up.
It's built in. Yeah.
And the great thing is that all of Portalcraft's mechanics just give stuff a rush. You got puppets with rush. You got ancient artifacts with rush. And again, it's that value game plan. If you put more stuff into your deck, and then you can draw that stuff out and just basically just get free resources, that's what makes Portalcraft so scary in the format. Like infinite artifacts. And you're just like, oh, I guess I'll just run out of cards in my hand and explode. Speaking of infinite resources, there's the Hamlin.
Yeah. Hamlin, obviously, clutch pick for any Portalcraft deck.
And I think with Random Mystery washing out with Bloodcraft, and Bloodcraft being one of the best classes in the format, he's thinking, all right, I'm glad that Portalcraft was chosen as a pick here. I can be pretty secure about this win, or at least more secure, and try not to wash out with the 2-0. Miriam, we're going for that French pronunciation. DreamHack Twas, Miriam. See, last month you were making fun of me for saying Miriam, and you were saying Miriam. And now you're all DreamHack Twas on, man. I don't know where to stand with you.
I got cultured in the past month, man. I watched. What's that movie?
What is that movie?
Whatever, man. Pulp Fiction, Royale with cheese, all that stuff. I've read a few books since then. I'm learning. Happy Pig and Stungur. Now here we go. What's this pick?
Oh, it's Vi. It's definitely Vi.
Yeah, definitely is Vi.
Loki and Godlord Golem, first of all, is just bad. And Loki is like, it's niche. You can't really make it work very well. I think Godlord Golem especially is a card that you need to build around, whereas Vi is just a really solid mid-game,
especially you get the Victoria out there,
Because if you evolve this Vi and evolve the Victoria, you can like 3 for 1, going into like 4 or 5 for 1s potentially, which is pretty nutty.
That's auto pick.
Alrighty then.
And so once again, we're going to be going into game 2 of Brangwin versus Random Mystery. Yeah.
Again, Brangwin, completely new name. Never seen him before. Random Mystery, top 8 in the last month's tournament.
At our Rotation Cup just a month ago. But again, this is an example of, relatively unknown player stepping to a relatively established one, I would say, by now.
Stepping up against people who we don't really see.
Yeah. With an advantage going into game 2. So let's see what happens.
Loading in now. Now, I wonder what Brangwin's going to bring up against this Portal card. Like, what can even compete?
What did he queue up with?
Bloodcraft.
Here we go.
Is this another flex? He's saying, hey, listen, I'll show you how it's done. I hope this is a through line we see throughout this tournament. Just the other player flexing on top of the other one.
Yeah, so the Mully, a little bit better for Brangwin in this case. Random Mystery, rather. Still has the Puppeteer on turn 2.
Random Mystery is going second. What do you think? Like, do you think going first or second is better in Take 2? Because there's some times during the game's history where it's been better to be one or the other statistically. Like, do you like having that extra evolution?
I like having the extra Evo, to me.
Yeah.
I like going second. That might be
No, I'm the same way.
Going first is a really good advantage to have, but I like having the extra Evo.
I think, because the Evo point is so key in this format, because going first is an advantage if your deck is built to quickly overrun your opponent, but you can't guarantee that in Take 2.
That's not a promise.
Like, I think that going second is usually better just because you have that evolution point. That's just personal preference, though. Playing that Puppeteer out is only 2 drop. And you know what? Random Mystery has a really high value hand here. I like this a lot. Pure-Hearted Singer, Goblin Emperor, Puppeteer's Strings. All these cards are just going to get him so many things. And Gravikinetic Warrior actually can be evolved to draw an artifact from the deck as well. So just lots of resources in Random Mystery's hand. One of the reasons why Portalcraft is so powerful in the format. But you know what? Brangwin is kind of going ham. Like literally, actually, think about it. With that Happy Pig on curve with the Angelic Knight and just going face. So I like this. I think unlike Random Mystery's play in the last game, I think Brangwin's identifying that he wants to just go as aggressive as possible, at least for now.
Yeah, it really made a statement in the opening turns.
Now the Pure-Hearted Singer is usually a pretty good play to draw cards. But, you know, I'm not sure about this because it kind of just gets traded over by whatever Brangwin can play out. So that's interesting. 4 play points now. Nightmare Devil coming out, generating some more forest math. It's one of those cards in Bloodcraft that actually can get you some value. Especially if you have synergies with it, but it's kind of hard to assemble the synergies, like we said, in this kind of format. Four play points on Random Mystery side. ES is going to trade into the Nightmare Devil. And this is going to be a Puppeteer Strings. I like this. Again, if you can just waste the Bloodcraft's resources and they don't have a way to refill it, it's over. Yeah. And I think when we saw Bloodcraft perform in the first round was because they got that Phantom Cat on stage and they could refill their hand. But if you don't have that kind of card draw, it's kind of rough to come back.
It's going to be tough for you.
Yeah.
You have they lack the stamina to be able to play that mid to long-term game plan, right? So if you're able to exhaust their resources like that, force them into a difficult situation.
And Random Mystery has 9 cards in hand, so he's not running out of resources anytime soon. And the potential to draw even more with more singers.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some of those recycle. Some of those add to hand.
It's kind of crazy how much value that Random Mystery is accumulating here. You can see the difference in hand size. Brangwin with 4 and Random Mystery with 9 with the potential to just keep going.
And what has he done so far? Nothing really too special, right? It's just he's just playing Portal and Take 2.
Yeah, basically. Bandersnatch is a pretty good follower on 5, being able to have rush and dictating the trades. But this is going to get run into, traded over by the Gravikinetic Warrior, which is also going to draw a card. And if this draws a 1 play point amulet, it does not. If that was an analyzing, that would have been
that would have
brutal.
been beast. That would have been beast.
I think you just play the puppet out. You don't want to waste the good cards in your deck for a puppet, I don't think. He's kind of considering keeping it just because Bloodcraft does have a lot of stuff with 1 defense.
Yeah, a lot of low cost units, right? To where the puppet would be useful, but it's not worth it in this case, you know, you're going to get your draw on. You don't want to wait. You don't want to lose a good card for holding on to that puppet. That's just greedy. Exactly.
But the puppet, like, it's a consideration if you want to like run into a bat or something. But Tove, now that's a card I haven't seen in a long time. Brangwin just is already kind of just out of fuel, like already.
Yeah.
Only has 1 threat in hand, and Random's just going to keep the train going. I think you can afford to play the... well, you have to play something that doesn't add stuff to your hand because you're just going to overdraw otherwise. So yeah, you got to play the Geno here. The Geno. Playing this for the enhance.
Evo and try to go over there.
That works out pretty well. But again, Random Mystery does just have the tools to come back from this. Although, you know what? One of the advantages of playing Blood is that you have some sneaky ways to win from behind just because of your burn. Like we were talking about earlier with that Razor Claw and Dark General. So if Brangwin was able to draft any of that stuff, this could very well still be a game.
That's why making an appearance with the Victoria.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of brutal. Because now this Victoria can just trade into the 6/6, no problem, for free. Or keep the Victoria up. That's interesting. Yeah, because now Brangwin has to spend a resource to deal with just a 3/1.
Yeah.
And that is brutal, especially with only 4 cards in hand.
That's just, it's never a good feeling.
Yeah, that's rough. Oh, that's like his last follower.
Yeah, that's...
yeah, that's tough.
You know he did that with a grimace on his face.
Yeah.
Playing your last Savage Wolf to trade into a 3/1 like that. Gotta do it, though. Back to Random Mysteries side. He's got 9 cards in hand. The tough part is playing something that won't actually add to his hand at this point, right?
Well, he could play the Cat Cannoneer and just put stuff into his deck instead. But you see, I guess this is where you would have liked to have the puppet, huh? Now that I think about it. Is this against the Goblin? Nope. Goblin leader, though.
I'll take that.
I think you play the Cat Cannoneer, run it in, and just play a 2-drop. Like, you're not starving for, you know, whatever piece of value you can get as Random Mystery. You have 9 cards in hand, they have 2. Like, I think you can afford trading the 3-2 in, and just playing another threat, and saving... Does this add a puppet into your hand? Oh, it does indeed.
And then he gets it done that way. Yep.
I like this too. I haven't seen Mass Puppeteer in ages. So that's an option that I wasn't even thinking about. Big Nickel Bodyguard getting into the 3-3. Good card to get off the top, but again, just there's nothing left.
Yeah, like you said, a good value piece, but maybe it feels like too little, too late.
Seems that way. 1 card in hand, and it's a removal card against Random Mystery's entire squad. Squad, yeah. I was looking for the right word there. Squad seems about appropriate. And Altaya is a pretty dang good card too. But just playing the Explosion here. Now that's interesting, because you don't deal with the 5-1 this way. I wonder if you just evolve into this 5-1. I think you have to. There's no other out for Brangwin to win other than through burn. So if you can just minimize the chances of anything bad happening to you, just clearing their board every time. As Portalcraft, it's...
Yeah, and he's only going to have two cards. Let's see.
Delirious Demon comes out. That is a threat. Guess we'll just add some Storm artifacts to our deck while we're at it. This is... It's a bit awkward now. You can't deal with this just yet. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see. He has the Cat Cannoneer in hand. That only does 3 damage. You can put the Altaya on top of it. The Machine Artisan Geno can sack that Analyzing for an effect as well. But I don't think it's enough damage to deal with this, because it has a 6 defense now. Interesting. Altaya comes out. Such a strong card.
Yeah. Stacking the deck with some Radiance.
And Radiant Artifactors, what a card.
Yeah.
5
especially in this format, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good anyway. It's good anyway.
Oh, you know what? That Diabolus Pisema. That could work. That's some value. But, I don't know. I think Brangwin's going to have to play this really carefully if he has a chance of any chance of getting back. It seems unlikely. He does have the Demon's Brand to get rid of the 4/4. He could actually make it back. This is what I'm talking about. Blood with the potential sneaky wins.
This is what you were talking about before, man. It has that potential to be able to perform in this format.
Can Random Mystery get this back now? I was so confident about this Portalcraft, and then suddenly Brangwin showing me to shut my mouth and, like, get that Diabolus Pisema off the top with all that burn. Bloodcraft just has that potential to have so much burn come out of nowhere and just hit you with it. Next turn, what is that? He has 6 burn damage in hand from the strike and the storm. So he just needs to deal 2 now.
Yeah, he just needs two to hit face.
So Random Mystery needs to deal with this entire board, or nothing, or he's done. And I think he can, right? If he trades the 4/2, runs the 4/2 into the 4/6, runs the 4/1 into the 6/7, and plays a Cat Cannoneer. Also got the
yeah, he has options.
Machine Artisan.
He does,
you know,
he has a lot of tools to work with.
He can bring this back, but then if Brangwin can just assemble another 2 damage, then it's rough. He was just trying to figure out the best way to make his trades here. See, This gives him some immunity. So Machine Artisan Gino reducing the damage of whatever's coming his way. But that Storm, though.
Wow.
Oh, that is rough.
Jesus.
This is what I was saying. I was so confident about Portalcraft running it through, Portalcraft being the best class in the format, but I also said Bloodcraft can just...
You have to imagine Brangwin is sitting at his computer chair just banging on his chest.
It's that top deck by Diabolos, man. Yeah.
As soon as that came on the screen, it's like, well, that changes things a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this Portalcraft, easy. Diabolos comes out. Oh, okay. Well, this is a game now.
I mean, what do you... that had to have been, I think, the turning point for Brangwin, right? When he got it back.
Yeah.
But for Random Mystery, what happened? I mean, he had a really big hand, a lot of tools that he could have used. Was he too conservative? Like, what happened?
I don't know. Like, I think there was probably a better way to deal with the Delirious Demon. He just that was left up for so long, but maybe he just didn't have enough draw for the artifacts, right? It's like sometimes you put a bunch of artifacts in your deck. If you don't have the draw to get them out, they're kind of just worthless, right? That's one of the problems with Portalcraft, which doesn't often happen, but I think Brangwin played that really well. We saw in the early game Brangwin went really aggressive, knowing that he couldn't beat the Portalcraft on the board through the mid game and the late game, and then he just kind of played to his outs and hoped for the Diabolos out at the end, and he got it. He was rewarded for it. So he played well. He played to his deck's strengths, but you know it's so unfortunate for Random Mystery there, getting what is that? Is that another 2-0?
That's another 2-0. Yeah.
And Random Mystery was one of the players who was in the rotation tournament last month, and Brangwin, a completely unknown name, 2-0ing somebody who got top
an established
8.
player, yeah. A leaderboard player,
and a member of Team Dawnbreakers as well. All right, let's take a look.
Let's check out that bracket.
All right, the bracket as it stands right now, we got Gomms and Styx and Brangwin and Random Mystery, and
Brangwin, man. Look at this, man. Brangwin over Kakusaki. Brangwin over Random Mystery. These are established players in the Southeast Asia Oceania region, and Brangwin, an unknown name for all intents and purposes, not a really well-known player out here.
It's the frontier, man.
Yeah.
It's
the Wild West, bro.
There's established players, but you can become established just by besting them, and that, you can make a name for yourself right here.
And
it's not unattainable at all.
You see Brangwin finds himself in grand finals going up against the winner of Gomms versus Styx. Again, it's 3 different countries represented in our top? Yeah, wow.
That's going to be a fun time. Now, Gomms and Styx both performers before.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, Styx was the 4th place in the rotation tournament last month, and Gomms was a really big performer from Thailand last season. So it's going to be really fun to see. We've seen Brangwin go up against Random Mystery, new face versus established face. Now, got 2 established players going up against each other.
Yeah, you got to remember, Gomms has currently 23 points, I believe, on our leaderboard. If he wins this, you got to imagine he's licking his chops at knowing that he's now in semifinals. He's 2 wins away from winning this tournament, getting 20 points and putting himself tying for 3rd place on that leaderboard, right?
4th place.
4th place, yeah.
Man, that'd be a win.
Yeah,
because then he just needs to win a little bit more. He has a chance for that Contenders Cup. Like we said, you're not just playing for prize money here. I mean, there is a $1,000 prize pool with $500 going to 1st place. But 1st place, more importantly, gets 20 league points, which puts you more in the running to go to the Contenders Cup, which is your ticket to the World Grand Prix at the end of the year.
And remember, World Grand Prix, they put $1 million on it, man. If that ain't enough to get you excited, I don't know what's wrong with you.
It's not even the prize pool. That's just for 1st place.
There you go.
Which is pretty nutty.
That's a lot of wall scrolls, Ignidius. I know.
That's how you think I spend my money.
That's a lot of Idolmaster wall scrolls.
I don't know.
You think I don't know, bro?
I'm feeling a little judged and under attack right now, frankly.
No, what do you mean? It's fine. It's fine.
Remember, check out ShadowverseOpen.com for all the details about the league standings, tournaments, and the road to Contenders Cup and World Grand Prix. And, of course, sign up on Battlefy.com/Shadowverse-Open to register for the upcoming tournament as well. Southeast Asia, Oceania, Shadowverse Open, Dawnbreak, Nightedge, Unlimited Cup on June 16th.
Yeah, don't just sit at home watching, man. Come out and play.
That's what we've been saying. Like, you can be an esports star as well. Come and register. Love to see you on the
How
cast.
you think we got these chairs, man? Look at you sitting on that plastic stuff.
I need this chair, actually. I actually want one so badly for my own.
It feels good on your back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
The little pillow. They call that lumbar support. Going to break. Okay, so thanks to you guys for sticking with us through matches 1 and 2. We'll be back in about 5-10 minutes.
Once we start talking about lumbar support, that's when we need to cut to break.
That's the cue? That's the cue? Lumbar
right.
support is the password. Okay, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll be back in 5 to 10. Again, we'll be right back with the semifinals of the Southeast Asia Oceania Shadowverse Open Dawnbreak Nightedge Take 2 Cup. See you then.
Music to my ears.
Hello, and welcome back to the Southeast Asia Oceania Shadowverse Open Dawnbreak Nightedge Take 2 Cup. I did it right. You proud?
Hello. Yeah, you did it. You did it. You nailed it, man.
Hello. Welcome back. Hi. We're already ready with the draft. We're just going to jump right into the next semifinal. VS Styx versus DIS.Gomms. Both players we've seen before. Both performers in previous tournaments. How is this going to play out? So we're seeing DIS.Gomms' draft right now. Swordcraft.
Swordcraft, and just like the last Swordcraft we saw in Take 2, right? Already picks up a Barbarossa.
Mm-hmm.
So now from here on out, it's about picking out the good value, maybe lower curve, lower cost pieces. I have to imagine he goes for the Holy Bear Knight here.
All right, Holy Bear Knight's just a really good card. But you know what? Axe Destroyer is so underrated. It's one of those cards that you were talking about that isn't good and constructed, but is so much better in Take 2. And I think Axe Destroyer is actually a legitimate consideration because it falls on an evolution turn, and you can 2-for-1 with it and destroy a really huge threat. So Axe Destroyer has Evolve, Destroy an enemy follower, and that's huge on a big body as well.
You see White General and Frontline Ramparts, but of course Castle Guardian. Castle Guardian a good consideration too, but I would go with the right one.
Really?
Yeah, right?
I think that the Frontline Ramparts is just kind of too slow. It's like an amulet that doesn't really do much. But the Castle Guardian is Ward, and Ward is cheat.
Yeah, Ward is really strong in Take 2.
Me can't go face. We have to hit Ward. It's unfair. Now this is interesting.
Yeah, Nixon Knight's Way versus Burley Alexander and the Mammoth.
I think Knight's Way is like criminally underrated in this format.
Yeah.
And nobody ever picks it on stream. I don't know why.
Quick Blader and another Axe Destroyer.
That is an interesting decision. I think you take the right one here. Like Frontline,
I would think so too. Just because, like you said, you get the Axe Destroyer.
you're 2-for-1.
She gets the 2-for-1, but you also get the Quick Blader too, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you draw a Quick Blader early, turn 1, if you open up for that potential, again, it's not that much damage, right? But it's about the pressure. It's about setting the tone really early on.
That's right. If you can set the pace of the game, then you're in a really good position. One of the things that's interesting to consider is that I think Quick Blader in general is a bit worse in Take 2 than in Constructed overall. Because you can't really build around that early curve. But it is still a really good curve filler and good trading tool as well. Pollux and Flail Knight, or Assassination Jutsu and Wolffang Swords. I'm picking the Assassination Jutsu, just trying to get removal. Removal is really high value in Take 2, especially compared to Constructed. Because you can just get rid of all their threats, they can just run out of steam, as we've seen in previous games in this tournament.
I gotta imagine you go with Pure Hearted here, right?
Yeah. Pure Hearted Singer and
Ephemera.
I think Ephemera is actually quite good in Take 2, just because it lets you be able to trade up. But it is a bit slow as well.
And also, again, Singer is going to give you the card draw.
Yeah, Singer is the big pick there, for sure.
King of the Horn Crown and Quick Blader versus a Master Sam and Flail Knight. I would go left.
Yeah?
I would go left.
Well, he picked the Master Sam and the Flail Knight.
Well,
actually, I actually agree with you. I would go left as well, because I think King of the Horn Crown has a lot of value in the late game. But,
man, he got another Valse? He got 2 Valses?
I think he's like a little bit heavy on the 3-drops now, though. That's my concern. Yeah, I think you go left here. Yep. Oh, Sky Fortress.
Beast! Beast!
And the round table, he has so many 3-drops that the round table might actually do something. But you know what? This is a really hard decision to make. Because Prim and Confront Adversity are also really good cards.
That's a strong combo, too.
Yeah.
But, bro, dude, you see that big castle in the sky, bro. You got to go to Studio Ghibli, dog. Studio Ghibli. Let's go.
But he actually didn't pick it. It kind of breaks my heart.
I would never turn that down.
Yeah.
But maybe, hopefully, he's at this point in this tournament for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's in semifinals, going up against VS Styx, and he's got 24 points on the leaderboard standings thus far.
Gomms?
Yeah, you got to imagine.
10th place, 24 points.
He knows something that I don't. There's a reason why he's playing and I'm not. So,
oh well, if we think about it, right? Let's see what are the most popular classes in the format. We got Bloodcraft, Portalcraft, some Forestcraft, lots of 1 defense dudes, and Confront Adversity is one of the only wide-sweeping clear Swordcraft has. So maybe that's what he was thinking about. All right, VS6 playing Havencraft here and keeping the Beastly Vow over everything else, just trying to get that early amulet pressure up so that he can start going in with 4/4s and such. Question is, can Gomms take advantage of that tempo loss to just start dealing damage to him? And
We got a Hedgehog.
Gotta go fast, baby. Put it out there.
I love that Hedgehog card, by the way. It's so good.
I love me some Chaos Emerald. Let's go.
Not only is it a great card, but it also has very high meme potential. That's one of the more valuable assets of a card that you don't really talk about in Shadowverse. Hedgehog comes out.
What did I tell you? Get them rings. Get them rings, boy.
This is interesting.
Yeah, gets the encomium draw.
I think you just play the You just play the BC Vow here. See, the risk you run with playing a follower here is that with the Hedgehog on board, Swordcraft can just rush into whatever you play, and then the Hedgehog
gets
buffed up.
You're going to get the Hedgehog buffs. If you don't actually play into that, if you don't give it things to destroy, then you don't give it buff potential.
It's kind of a lose-lose, though, because if you don't develop a threat, then Swordcraft is free to develop their own, instead of reacting to whatever you do.
It's a rock and a hard place, right? But given what he knows, you have to assume the worst, but you also don't want to play into that game plan.
Going really hard into these amulets. And next turn, VS6 has actually a really fearsome lord with the Beastly Vow and the Snake Amulet popping next turn, giving him Bane. And we've seen how powerful Bane is in this format, just being able to clean stuff up. Now I wonder, does Gomms just go for an aggressive line of play here? Because he can play the White General onto like the Hedgehog. Or onto the Flail Knight.
White General going to buff actually the Flail Knight. Evo on the gen.
Just splitting the threat up a bit, right? Making the Flail Knight also threatening with the Hedgehog so that not putting all your eggs in one basket.
And now going to strike for 6.
Just going fast, man. And the Kunoichi Master on 5 is going to do so much damage on the turn after.
You know what they say, Ignatius. Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast.
You sound so satisfied that you're able to say that. You're like, you know what?
Because it's so easy, bro. It's so easy. You put him out there, you just start swinging that blade, running around on this little shoes.
This is incredible. So VS6 puts so much pressure on the board, but if DIS.Gomms can just play this Kunoichi Master and then just go face, I wonder if any of that pressure is even going to matter. Because Gomms is just setting up for a potential lethal now. Although VS6 does have Aegina to sort of curb some damage.
Just like you said, going to play the Kunoichi Master.
Evolve in the Heg.
This one's for my ninjas. Here we go. Evo on the Hedgehog. What are you laughing at?
No,
what are you
like
laughing?
that.
She's a ninja.
I like it. I like it. I'm happy you said it. Oh, that got rid of the Flail Knight. Oh, this is rough.
Yeah, and at this point, you know Gomms just wants to go ham on face, right? At this point, you're ahead 20-5. That gap is so wide to where...
Oh, it got ward. Oh,
right,
lucky.
That's big. That's big. That's big.
Lucky. And got the Aegina out.
Oh,
but still has Rush. So all you have to do is run the 2-1 into the 3-2, play the Momo into the 3-2 Aegina, and then evolve the Kunoichi Master and hit face, and that's GG.
Man, this is nuts. This game went super fast.
Yeah, that was so fast.
Awesome games done quick. This is a speed run.
That's what happens when Swordcraft gets a draft that supports that early curve.
Evo, Kunoichi Master going to strike?
Oh, that is rough.
Give me that. This one's for my ninjas.
Just running over VS6. And you know what? VS6 had a really good hand, had a really good draft, and you could see his dominant board state there, but doesn't even matter when you have a Kunoichi Master ambush and you've done so much damage in the early game.
Bro, Gomms is trying to put together his reel. He knows. Awesome games done quick. They're looking for talent, bro. They've been itching for some new blood for sure. He's trying to put together a reel and get on there for some speed run, bro.
Tournament speed run.
Yeah, that was a 6-turn win.
Yeah.
In
take two. Yeah.
What a beast. What a beast.
Yeah, that was such a good curve on Gomms' and with that Hedgehog on 2 doing so much work and then the White.
And again, this is, you got to imagine for him, there's I don't want to say like a sense of urgency, but it's something like that, right? You're at this 24-point spot now on the leaderboard. You want to get this win. You have got to be able to get some points. Put yourself in that conversation of the top 4, right? He's definitely playing with that kind of intensity, in my opinion.
And just putting yourself in such a better position to potentially be able to go to the Contenders Cup with the tournaments coming ahead. And that was insane. And
And
I
now-
really like Gomms' line of play. I think a lot of people in Take-Two sort of fall into the trap of maybe playing too much for value, especially if you're newer to the format, or playing too much for, just for the long game. But Gomms recognized that if he just went aggressive, he could overrun this Haven before the Haven
That's
actually
when
did
you drop
anything.
the Hedgehog down, let him run.
And now Gomms actually picking Shadowcraft this time, our first Shadowcraft player this whole tournament. You picked the Mad Hatter here and the caster. I think, oh, actually going left. That is interesting. That's not what I would do. But you know what? I'm at the caster's X, and he's playing, so maybe he's going to teach me something.
Don't be modest, Ignatius. You're a beast. You're a beast with it.
Bellanus.
Yeah, you got to imagine he picks the Bellanus mummy. Ooh.
I think you picked the Vanguard here, and the Keelan is actually really good.
Keelan in Take-Two is such a beast.
Especially if you have the Evolve point for it.
Yes. Keelan is another one of those cards, in my opinion, that you talk about. We don't see too much in rotation format, but man, in Take-Two, you see your opponent drops a Keelan down, you're like, God, you're biting your lip for sure.
You're like, oh, I have to deal with a 5.
Yeah, I have to deal with this thing.
A 7 defense ward that just took out one of my stuff for free.
Yeah, that
Great.
that buffs itself.
Yeah, yeah. And there's that full moon coming back at it.
Twirl that mustache, baby.
But I don't know if Shadowcraft as a class has the late game to support
Mr.
it.
Full Moon is like the Reddit card. That card, is that card not the embodiment of Reddit?
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
Hello, my lady. Oh, wait, we're going to France next week. Bonjour. Bonjour, madame. Bonjour.
DreamHack twice.
It's all about pronunciation, Ignatius.
That's how you get the respect.
So yeah, Giga's a Mystic Ring, but he's going to opt for the Ivalicia pick, right?
Just getting a little bit earlier of a curve. Getting a lot of 2-drops, and this is just one of the things in Shadowcast that you get so many 2-drops in general. And in rotation, or in Constructed rather, 2-drops are really good because turn 2 is like the most important turn of the game. But in Take-Two, it's a lot less important because if your deck is just filled with a bunch of 2-drops, come late game, you don't got anything with any real impact. So it's one of those hard balancing acts you have to balance here.
You see Gomms, though, you see his mindset from last game, right? He's trying to rush that stuff down, man.
And we saw him pick Aisha there. Underworld Ruler Aisha for the last pick. What a great legendary to get for your draft.
Yeah, for the cap off that 30 card deck.
Easy 10 damage at the end of the game. No
So,
problem.
all right, so look. Throughout the bracket, we've only seen one set that has not been a 2-0 wash in top 8. Is this going to be a 2-0 wash or not?
Oh, we'll see.
I
I
don't
like
know.
this draft a lot. I'm just curious, what does Styx draft here? So, Forestcraft. All right, now I got a game here.
Yeah, this is
Haven't
another class that does really well in this format.
That's right. And we haven't seen it yet, and we haven't seen the Shadowcraft yet, so this is going to be really fun to watch. Lots of 2-drops, and I think this is the problem. Sometimes you get like an overabundance of 2-drops, and you just don't have that much to do come late game. And you know what? I'm really liking this curve from VS6 here. Forestcraft got so many tools in the past few expansions, and they just have so much good stuff. Like, just stuff that is good by itself and doesn't really rely on too much to go with it. And the little synergy that it does require is all part of the class anyway. Like
it's all built in.
Yeah, exactly. Like playing the 2 or more cards in a turn or what have you. So,
Got killed too.
Keelan as well, yeah. And a really nice curve. This, the tree boy, and then Fashionista Nelcha. But you know, on DS.Gomms' side, he does have some way to answer it. Got a Bone Bug. Got an Usher Styx. I imagine you save the Usher Styx for later on. Bellanus comes out. I imagine this Bellanus is just something that's going to have to trade with something. Just trying to stay on the board so you don't get run over. And Gomms can recover come turn 7 with that explosion. Should be taking out most of Forestcraft stuff by then. Another one of those cards that requires neutral synergy that just can't assemble it in Take-Two.
Conley Tree, and again, another problem early on, right? 2-3 drops.
I think you just play the Big Soul Hunter here. Have something that can trade over this treant. Make your next turn look a little bit better. Just playing a little bit ahead. Now, next turn, Gomms has the evolution point as well, so he can play the Skeleton Ogre and evolve it over something, which is actually pretty valuable. But that Nelcha does work. And I imagine this 2-2 is just going face. Again, one of the key themes of Dawnbreak Nightedge, that choice mechanic.
Choice cards.
And those choice cards are incredible. Like, I did that meta deck video not too long ago, and I was surprised at how many of the decks like use so many choice cards, and each time it was like one of the key cards of the deck. It's like, that versatility just makes it such a powerful asset to any deck you're building. And Nelcha is no different.
Yeah, I mean, right. Anytime you're given options are never a bad thing. Options are never a bad thing. And when this current expansion just gives you so many of them to be able to choose from, it just makes sense that a lot of decks will be able to utilize them in that way, especially in competitive formats. Usher of Styx, making her presence known, going to Evo.
This is interesting. Opting not to evolve the Andrealphus and instead evolving the Usher of Styx to be able to deal with the board that's already there. And I think that is probably a heads-up play because you don't want to fall too far behind. You want to establish that board dominance because that's how Shadowcraft ends up winning most games, as we've seen with the dominance of mid-range Swordcraft over the past couple of years. But usually you'd want to evolve an Andrealphus to just never run out of resources, right? But I think Gomms is recognizing, all right, tempo-wise, I need to be on the board right now. But that Keelan might just bring it all back.
And this brother is a problem in take 2.
Yeah, how do you even deal with that? That is something that... Oh, well, that helps.
Well, that's one way.
Yeah,
That's one way.
just run that in, run the big Soul Hunter in. But then you do spend quite a few resources just to deal with the Keelan.
But it's Keelan. You got to be okay with spending resources to get rid of that thing.
It hurts, you know. That's a 3-for-1 Keelan right there.
Yeah.
But you just got to do it. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man. That piece is too potent to be able to just let it sit there.
And that's going face. No evolve, I don't think. Save the evolve.
Yeah, smack face.
And it actually got the Necromancy off. Oh. VS6 has so much card draw, too, with that double Looking Glass. And the Singer. Looks like he's not running out of resources anytime soon. And this Treant actually goes off.
Yeah, Treant gets the self buff.
Oof.
Like you said, a lot of Looking Glasses, a lot of draw potential here.
This is actually pretty rough for Gomms right now. Because nothing goes over this 4 defense. Like, if that Treant didn't activate its effect, this would be an easy trade into, but, like, now it's tough for him to go over. Just has to play the Full Moon just to have something to go over.
Hey, that's when you start twirling your mustache. At least lower his attack, be able to make it an easy trade over, right?
Again, another evolve not spent on Andrealphus, and I'm starting to worry here that Gomms might be running out of resources. So I think the next evolve point, if he's permitted, has to go on the...
All of Reddit is standing in their chairs just applauding at this play.
I think it's the only play he had. 7 play points. VS Styx. What are you going to do? Still has a Demon's Dress in hand. Has a Rain as well. I like this. So you can evolve the Rain, and it activates on the Tweedledee. Then the Tweedledee can... Then you can Demon's Dress the 5/4. Or you can even play like Instincts Unleashed. That works too.
And there he goes with the Instincts Unleashed.
Now that was nice. That was clean.
All of Reddit gets DDoS'd here. And then Styx gonna smack face.
How do you come back from this? You just kind of have the explosion. Andrealphus evolving, running into the 4-2, looks like. He still has the explosion for a potential comeback. And the Bone Bug for health restoration as well. Trying to stay in the game. Oh, that Troth's Curse is huge. Troth's Curse got such a huge buff.
That's a big draw.
Especially Mischievous Spirit can summon a ghost, and then you can sacrifice the ghost to destroy the 4/4, and you basically don't lose any resources this way. That's amazing. That is actually huge.
That's beast.
And now you have 2 followers on the board that can draw you cards because
What a draw. What timing, right?
Yeah.
Being able to pull that Troth's Curse then.
And you know, Troth's Curse really benefiting from that buff rather. It used to cost 3 play points as we're seeing on the screen here, but now it costs 2 because of the recent balance update. The first buff in Shadowverse history, if I'm not mistaken. Barrage hitting that Bone Bug, recognizing that it does have the potential to get some healing in. And just trying to get back on the board.
Just trying to get some drawback.
Drawn. Keep drawing.
Oh, there he is once again. My man.
There's 2 in the deck, huh?
Bonjour, my lady.
Getting rid of that Tart Man. Get out of here. Something a little better.
Burn the Tart.
Rush?
What's it?
Rush.
Oh, it gets Rush. Wow.
Nice.
Too good.
Highly skilled card. And putting the Spartoy Sergeant on the board as well. Although, even with the Andre Alphas going off, Gomms is running out of resources. And this is what I'm talking about. When you fill your deck with 2 play point cards, 3 play point cards,
It's easy to run out of fuel.
yeah, near the end, you just start running out of stuff that you can have that makes a big impact on the board state, right? You just have a bunch of weenies that gets got real easy.
A bunch of Vienna sausages, if you will.
I'm sorry?
Don't worry about
I
it.
don't think I've heard that one before.
Don't worry about
I'll
it.
roll with it.
Why'd you call them weenies, bro?
Oh, see, now I get it. Listen.
Weenies?
Because they're small. You know, weenies are like weenies are small. Never mind.
Never mind. Yeah.
Never
yeah,
mind.
Change topic.
I'm going off this train of conversation, right? We're not pursuing this anymore.
Yeah, so Styx has answers here. He's going to play Snowfield Warrior.
Rush is good. Hashtag it has rush. If it has rush, you mostly pick it.
RTSD, man.
That's usually my rationale for picking cards in Take Two. Is that if it has rush, I usually pick it because being able to dictate the trades is just way too good. Oh, top decking that Undying Resentment though. Hello, that gets into the Swift Gate Okami real easy. All right, looks like Undying Resentment on the Okami. The 2/2 runs into the 4/2. I would have to imagine. Oh yeah, you could do that too. I like
There he
that.
goes. Yeah, nerfs it. Now easy run over. No, not even worried about it. If you nerf it to the point where it's just one attack like that, not even worried about it. Especially when I have a lead like that. Please, I wish you would.
Speaking of cards that aren't good in Constructed, that are good in Take Two, Elf General comes out to play. Ariana is so good.
Yeah.
There, you can say bye-bye to your Mr. Full Moon. And I think the Snowfield is just going to run into the 3-1. This is going to be an explosion carry. Let's see it. First of all, what's in the box? Run the Sport Toy Sergeant into the 3-4, and explosion has to be the play here.
It's the Furia and the Ivalicia. Okay. Explosion, blow everything up.
Now it's a game. Now they're both kind of top decking, but VS6 is still way ahead, has so many more resources, especially now with that Wheeled Philosopher. That is pretty big. I think Satunga comes out here, and then Wheeled Philosopher on top of it.
Yeah, obviously Gomms has health advantage, but VS6 has resource advantage.
And I just don't know if Gomms has the burn. What Gomms needs is to draw the Aisha off the top, and then he's got this. There's Wheeled Philosopher. Is it going to be Aisha off the top? If it's not, then looks like this is going to be over faster than we hope. You can play Evolution and the Caterpillar, but it's not going to get rid of that 7-5. That's a problem.
Yeah, gonna take the 1 damage here.
Dealing 3 more damage. Probably has to trade to the Wheeled Philosopher, I think. Nope. Face. What is Gomms hoping for? He just... For burst, all he has is his Aisha, right? Or am I mistaken? That is interesting.
Aisha's the only one I recall, but... Yeah. I mean, you have to imagine for VS6 here, what he plays... Kindly Treant to be able to protect?
He's just trying to put enough pressure on VS6 that he has to trade the entire time.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? If Gomms draws 1 damage, he wins here. I got a freaking nowhere. He just has it. This is it. Is Gomms going to top deck 1 damage, or is he not? If he doesn't, he loses. If he does, he wins. This is it. What's it? What's on the top? Oh, wait. That stabilizes. Oh, I think Gomms has this now. That is huge.
Wow.
What a draw off the top.
That changes things. Okay. So Mist of Extinction wipes the board for him.
Now watch him draw Aisha next. That's his next draw. It's going to be Aisha. I can feel it.
Out there. Put the Leaf Man out there. Inbound Barrage.
I can feel it in my bones. Off the top. Underworld Ruler Aisha. Wait, no, he already spent the Aisha. What am I talking about? He ran into the Keelan. That's right. Oh, wait. Does he get the Aisha back? Oh, nope. It's Mr. Full Moon.
That's all right, bro. I'll upvote that.
completely forgot the Aisha ran into the Keelan. Man, that Keelan did so much work, but
私の無
even so, Gomms.
Wow!
I love Gomms' game plan here. He just went hard in the paint and trusted his deck to provide. For
Right.
both games.
DIS.Gomms? 2-0 over VS Styx, right?
Uh-huh.
Wow. That's another 2-0.
And he just went hard. Like on that Swordcraft game, he just went face, face, face. And then this one, he was like, all right, play this, play this, play this. Off the top. Oh, Mr. Extinction. Oh, don't even worry about it. Your board's gone.
Yeah, so again, he lost. So he lost Aisha going up against the Keelan, but you can't avoid that. That Keelan card is just so strong in Take Two. I don't even think that, like, you can't even really say that's a bad trade, right? It's unfortunate that he didn't have access to it later on, but
that
ultimately,
that Mist of Extinction off the top was
that was
gigantic.
Yeah, that was huge.
Man, Gomms had luck of the draw on his side, as well as his own deck building and his own unique style of play, which I really like to see. That really proactive style of play.
And it's thanks to that he finds himself in grand finals going up against Brangwin. And both of these brothers have been cracking heads of all the established players on Southeast Asia on Oceania ranking leaderboards today, man.
Can we take a look at this bracket for a second?
Jesus.
0-2, 2-0, 2-0,
Wash.
2-0.
Wash.
Yeah, these players are really proving their dominance, and I'm really excited to see this. This is like last month we had the same thing, an established player versus a newcomer. What's it going to be this time? Last time, the established player, Masama, was able to come out on top.
Yeah, and even some of these quote-unquote newcomers, right? Some of these guys are just guys hanging around at not top 8 of the standings for Southeast Asia Oceania, but like that 10th place point, right? They're currently hovering at around 20 points. They need another 20 to be put in that conversation. And now you see Gomms, DIS.Gomms, bro. He came into this tournament straight up from the start, busting grapes on everybody's foreheads. Says, I'm taking my 20 points today. I'm getting in this leaderboard. I want to be in Contenders Cup.
That's the competitive spirit you need when you're in Team Disaster. Team Disaster has such amazing performers historically throughout the history. And now Gomms finally gets to represent his team in this region.
That's dope. This is fun to watch. Yeah,
so he's showing, like, here, this is Disaster, all right? I'll show you how it's done.
So now both of these guys who have been flexing on everybody throughout the top 8, right? Oh, you want to play Dragon? Watch this. Hold my beer. Let me watch this.
Yeah.
And then what?
You want to play Blood?
Yeah,
I'll show you how it's done.
Hey, I've been listening to Papa Roach all my life. Cut my life into pieces. Let's go. So now we get to see both of them go up against each other in grand finals for 20 points. Yeah, this is essentially a 3-point. It's not only a money match, but essentially 3-point differential is going to be at stake here. So.
And it could be pretty huge.
Yeah.
The points matter so much.
Yeah.
That's your ticket into the Contenders Cup. That's your ticket to the World Grand Prix at the end of the year.
At this point, for Brangwin, they mean even getting into the getting on the leaderboard, right? But for Gomms, this is getting into that 4th place, 3rd place spot
from 10th.
Yeah,
that's huge.
That's a big jump.
All right, looking at Gomms' drafts yet again. Here we go.
Oh, I think this is an easy pick. Go Haven. Yeah, easy pick.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. This is Brangwin who's drafting right here. Just a little UI hiccup there. Now, he had the Moon and Sun on the first pick. That's what you always like to see. Moon and Sun?
Again, like you were saying, we've been saying it all day, right? High value. Consistent high value. It recycles into itself.
This draft so far, Moon and Sun, Lion Crystals, Altaia. This is looking really nice. And Temple Ogre actually does a lot of work in this format if you have the Evolve on.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Easy right pick there, right?
Moria and Chromium here as well. I think it's an easy right.
Right.
See, Temple Ogre, it's one of those cards you don't see in Constructed at all, but here, 5.43, when 2 damage or less is dealt to this follower, reduce it to 0. And then when it attacks, it gains 1 defense as well. So it's a trading machine if you have the Evolve point for it. Oh, that pure, that card that summons that one play point amulet, that gives you a Falcon of the Storm, that's powerful. Black Inscriptor is such a good card. I don't know if you can pass it up.
Yeah, even it doesn't even really matter what it's paired with, right? Like whenever you see Black Inscriptor, you're just like, man, what it offers you, the potential to just wipe opponent pieces like that. That's too good to pass up.
Yeah, I'd say so. Our removal is too good. I think you take the Red Hot here. Like Star Bishop and like Kayn, I'm not too sold. Last pick, has the Taurus, goes for it. I like this deck a lot. Yeah, I saw a lot of good cards in there. I saw a Lion Champion, Lie Champ, and I saw...
Lie Champ? That's
They should make an emote for it.
Live
Please.
champ.
Twitch, please. Global emote. Live champ. Yeah, that deck had a lot of great picks. I wonder what Gomms is going to do to go up against it.
I can't wait, man. The first game of Grand Finals, and again, both of these players have a lot of momentum going into this set, right? A lot of momentum throughout the day.
And I'm such a big fan of Gomms' style of play. Like, that last series was just
that was fun.
straight into it. I want to see how that kind of matches up against Brangwin, who's been, not as proactive. It's going to be interesting to see. All right, getting into it now. Here we go. Gomms of Team Disaster versus Brangwin, a new fresh face, not affiliated with a team yet, if I recall correctly. Brangwin playing the Havencraft deck we just saw, and Gomms playing Havencraft as well, so it's a mirror match this time around. Although, Gomms is flexing the Moon Leader that he got from his pack.
Yeah.
And both of them have the Temple. And you know what? Gomms has Summit Temple. That is interesting. Like, what synergizes with that?
What is he gonna? What else did he pick up that he could possibly?
What
even
if
play
his
with him?
first pick was Summit Temple Heavenly Knight?
Wow, man! Don't put that out there.
What if, though? What if? Now, this is a really interesting situation here. Now, we saw that Brangwin forewent the opposing statues, going for a card that he felt was more effective. But you know what? Opposing statues is one of those cards that might be more valuable in Take-Two than Constructed because it just keeps coming back. It's one of those things that just keeps coming back. So if you can get that off...
We've been saying it all day, man. Those pieces that recycle themselves, right? The pieces that go away but keep finding their way back into your hand like that, the Sun and Moons, there's a lot of examples of that. Those the Barbarossas, those cards are so valuable in this format where you don't have, like, consistency guaranteed, right? They can offer that for you.
Now, Gomms is going first and starting out strong, trying to get the Lion Train going, and already has a Lion Temple in his hand to keep the thing going, and a Lion Champion, a Lion-themed
deck.
The
big body. Here we go.
Lai Champ, and the Star Bishop comes out just to restore some health to...
That's a big cat, man.
Just another body. All right, turn 3. For Brangwin, we have, I think it's the Peace Weaver here. Just get the Lion Crystal and start the train going.
Gets the Moon and Sun in hand. That's a source of comfort for him, no doubt.
But you know what? Gomms does have that Black Inscriptor in hand already as well, just ready to answer it. Queen of the Red Sea, one of those legendaries you see just because you had to pick it. Doesn't really work with anything in the deck, I imagine. But you know what? It could come in clutch if you have to, like, just flood the board. Now, I imagine you want to set up the Lion set, the Temple of the Holy Lion. But I wonder if you want to use this crystal now or if you want to save it. He's spending the Black Inscriptor here because he doesn't know. He doesn't know that Brangwin has the...
He doesn't know that he has the Sun and Moon in hand. He's going to regret that later, you have to imagine.
Yeah.
Well, for Gomms, maybe he picked up more than one Black Inscriptor is possible, but...
Potentially.
That's...
It is a bronze, but...
Hopefully he gets it sooner than later.
And I don't think he's considering not evolving it, but he just want to get the tempo on the board here. And this Death Staff Nun is going to be pretty annoying to deal with because it has Bane on the opponent's turn. Bane is always annoying to deal with. This is opposing statues. Opposing statues, so underrated in this format. Just more stuff over and over again. The more things you have that recycle, the more value you can get. And again, another choose card, so it has that versatility as well. Now for 5 play points on Brangwin's side, a lot of his plays are reactionary. I wonder if he's just going to play the Holy Lion Crystal to just try and get his train going. It's a pretty safe spot to start developing that because Gomms doesn't have any threats that he has to answer. But it looks like he is just going to try and flood the board a little bit more.
Put that pork out there.
Now this is really aggressive. This is a really aggressive line of play rather than just trying to develop the lions early on. I'm not so sure about that. That's interesting. Well, this turn, Gomms can play 2 crystals if he wants, but I think he wants to save at least 1. Interesting. So he can play the Hourglass, get a 3-2 with Rush to try and handle some of this.
Yeah, at least try to remove the ward, right? Before obviously before the encomium goes active next turn.
6 play points. He also has the Lie Champ. Can put that down, run it in. But yeah, I like this. I like the Featherfall Hourglass. Get the 3-2. And the problem with just playing the Crystal here is that you don't get the value of getting it back in hand for playing it for 5. So I think Gomms knows what he's doing though, and he probably has another generator in hand or in his deck somewhere along the line. This encomium does get rid of the 4-2 though.
Yeah, that's never a good feeling, especially because you just spent an Evo point on it, right? But you have to imagine. I mean, what are you thinking? Did you get your value out of it by being able to clear that board using it?
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I think maybe it was kind of awkward because like he didn't have another 2-drop to combo with his additional like 5 play point crystal, but he ended up wasting his crystal anyway. So maybe I would have liked to see double crystal there, but hey, he wanted to deal with all the threats on board, and there you go. Now he can play the opposing statues and just get the 3-2 with. Oh, no, it's a 2-3, right? So it doesn't even run into this 4-3 properly.
Instead, just gonna look into the looking glass.
Right? Tenko comes out. This has to get evolved over the Temple Ogre. You can't leave that thing up. And now Gomms is already out of evolution points, and Brangwin still has 2 in store. Still has a Moon and Sun. Has a Black Inscriptor. I think this is looking pretty okay for Brangwin right now. And that the Gruff Mountaineer Captain just trades into this thing for free.
That brother be hiking. Look at him go.
I didn't know hiking gave you the power to trade into
just run in the gods and stuff like that.
Gigantic monsters and come out living and still smiling.
It's the hips, man.
Yeah, man.
The hips and the glutes.
He deserves it. Look, he did a full job and he has a full smile. Summoning 2 4-3s here, just restoring some defense and just having a lot of bodies on the board. But you know what? Oh, what? That pure annihilation off the top, being able to banish both of the 4-3s. Get out of town.
Beast mode.
Into the face, Tsukiyomi. Just start aggressing off the top too. What? And a perfect curve, evolving the Gruff Mountaineer Captain. This is where Brangwin wants to capitalize on his advantage. He completely swung the board around. Now he's like, okay, I'm just going to hit you over and over, and you're not going to do anything about it.
Puts Lion Champ out there just to guard, but...
Got that Black Inscriptor in hand, though.
Yeah, not going to mean much.
Oh. And his own lions, too. His own crystal generators, if it wasn't enough to just rub it in. I think you play the Temple and you play Crystal. Or you could do this and play Crystal. Or just do that. Yeah, that works too. Just have the biggest bodies. Like, what is Gomms going to do? He doesn't have much in hand left. He still has opposing statues that can potentially run into the Tsukiyomi, but he'll take 2 damage doing it. Looks like he's doing it this way. Just trying to get the most bodies on the board to stay relevant on the board.
But at this point, it becomes a race too, right?
Yeah, and he's losing that race. And Brangwin still has 1 evolution point and more resources. It's kind of rough. And this is 2 damage.
Oh, man.
Oh, this hurts. What are you even hoping for out of this Goblin? Goblin.
That's unfortunate. So at this point, does he take his draw?
Seems about over. Because opposing statue summons the Storm.
Yeah,
evolve the Storm,
go
go for 9 damage to the face. But he needs to evolve it. But, you know, I would have liked to see it.
Brangwin making his presence known. Game 1 goes to him in this grand finals of the Southeast Asia Oceania Shadowverse Open Dawnbreak Nightedge Take-Two Cup.
I think the problem there was that Gomms had a few like really awkward turns where he was forced to evolve when he didn't want to. Then he just ran out of resources so much faster than Brangwin did. And Brangwin going second had more evil points, had the Moon and Sun, had an opposing statues, had Lion Crystals. It was kind of like an embarrassment of riches on Brangwin's part.
Yeah.
So in the Havencraft Mirror, Brangwin just won out, but these players are redrafting and getting a new deck after every single game.
So, once again, it's been 2-0. With the exception of 1 set, it's been 2-0 every time.
In this entire top 8.
I'm looking for Gomms to clap back, man. I'm looking for him to at least be able to deliver something, man. At least see 3 games out of this grand final set.
Yeah, and like what, you know, you don't want to be the guy who's coming in, everyone's looking at you, you're favored, you're in Team Disaster, you know.
That's never a good
and then
feeling.
some rando just comes up and slaps you upside the head and takes the first place.
But more importantly, takes your points.
That's right. Now, you're not just playing for money in this tournament. You're playing for 20 league points.
Takes your points, too. That's, take your money, okay, but take my points? Both is never a good feeling. So, yeah, you gotta imagine there's a little bit of pressure on Gomms' side at this point.
For sure. Now, I wonder what picks are going to pick next time. So we saw Havencraft versus Havencraft. And we saw the power that Havencraft can establish.
Yeah.
But can that match up with Portalcraft? Can that match up with Bloodcraft? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, we've only seen one portal this entire time.
Yeah.
I'm looking
I wonder if they just didn't get picked or if they weren't available as a pick. It's interesting. But we'll see. We'll see.
Once again, thanks to each and every one of you watching from around the world, to the Southeast Asia, Oceania, Dawnbreak, Nightedge, Shadowverse Open, Take-Two Cup. And make sure, again, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch at SEAO Esports. Make sure you guys stay up to date with all the happenings with Shadowverse, not just here, but around the world.
Shadowverseopen.com. Figure out what the league standings are, the tournaments coming up, you know, the Contenders Cup, the World Grand Prix. Battlefy.com/Shadowverse-Open. Register for all the tournaments coming up. Unlimited Cup, June 16th. Well, what else do we need to plug?
Yeah, I mean, plug your stuff, man. Make sure you guys, I know there's quite a few of you guys watching. You're kind of nervous. You don't want to take that jump to competitive play. Make sure you check out some of Ignatius's YouTube content, man, to be able to give yourself some legs, get started, and not just not even getting to the competitive aspect, but just like learning how to play the game, man. A lot of beginner resources are out there. Make sure you check it out.
If you're in Southeast Asia, Oceania, register. It's your time for stardom. And if you're not from Southeast Asia, Oceania, watch The Crown. We're coming for it.
All right, so draft is up now, and it looks like
Dragoncraft.
Yep,
now,
Dragon
this
again.
is fun. Okay, I did not expect Dragoncraft to be picked so often, but I think Brangwin's just comfortable with Dragon.
I mean, we said that earlier, right? Brangwin, this isn't the first time he's done this today, correct?
Maybe I'm sleeping on Dragoncraft, man. I was thinking that Dragoncraft wasn't that good in Take-Two, but hey, we see it picked a lot. I mean, it does have a lot of tools. And it can come back pretty hard. But
let me ask you this, Ignatius. For a Dragon player in Take-Two, what are some of the key pieces that you're looking to pick out of this draft in order to give yourself a chance?
You want Basilisk Rider. That card is insane in Take-Two. It's 2 Banes in 1 card. Waters of the Orca is, of course, good. You want that
Lion
on the
Champion
left.
Pitfall, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Easy pick.
And Elder Tortoise. Elder Tortoise is so good in Take-Two.
We already saw it active today, right?
And that, yeah. And
Ooh,
then
Free
Waters of the
Willy.
Orca. Yeah.
Give me Beowulf and Free Willy.
And you know what? Beowulf not bad either in this format. If you can get it to actually remove something, it's not too shabby. Removal in Take-Two is so good. You saw that instant pick Divine Attribution.
Yeah.
We barely saw it on screen before you slammed that button.
All right, now what's this pick?
Oh, you know what? I think you have to go Force of the Dragon Newt and Dragon Ren quick. Just removal. Well, you know what? This is kind of tough.
Yeah, that's a tough pick, I think, for me.
He's going left, looks like, for the two legendaries there. Now, that's interesting. Like, the PDK, of course, is really good if you can leave it up and have, like, say turn 10. Yeah. You have both PDK and Waters of the Orca in hand. Now, that's a play.
Yeah.
But,
that's a big play.
But, you know, how often is that going to happen? I don't know. But removal in Take-Two is just always good. So that was a pretty tough one. And you know what? That Worm God of the Skies in Take-Two is so much harder to deal with than it is in Constructed. If you can get that down, then they have to destroy it, and then the next turn you just flood the board with your dudes, and they just get gigantic. There's not much you can come back from that in Take-Two.
Or maybe, like, they can deal with it once, but, like, they can't deal with the second wave, right?
Right,
like, what
exactly,
comes after.
exactly.
Yeah. In Take-Two, I can see that could be a really strong play. But now we're going into Game 2 of our Grand Finals.
This is it.
Yeah, let's go to it, man.
Is Gomms going to wash out here, or is he going to come back and prove that Disaster has what it takes to make it in the Southeast Asia Oceania region?
I like my man Gomms to clap back here. He's been playing. Look, he's been playing really well all day long. I think you give him one game, that's fine. I like him to clap back here.
He's playing Forestcraft too, and we saw Forestcraft has a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
So this might be a comeback, and that's a curve. That's a curve. That works.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Whoa, a full keep of the opening hand. Because he saw he can count, you know? 2, 3, 4. I got this, huh? I took elementary school math. I understand.
Or he just watched a lot.
Oh, he got a 1 too.
He watched
Bringing
a lot
it all
of Sesame
together.
Street. My man counting.
It's kind of awkward, but like, the 3-1 is not really a card you want to play on 2, but kind of don't have a choice in this situation. Oh, he's not just going to do it. He's just going to leave it. Interesting.
Starting on the Spell Grow play.
I don't think I've ever seen that card played in my life. So,
well, there's a first time for everything. And here we go.
That's the beauty of Take Two, man.
At the Take Two Cup, here you go.
Drawing cards.
And the Grove gonna burn for that. Put the Adept Archer out there.
And Brangwin just hasn't done anything for the past 2 turns. And you just pass again. Your hand is way too heavy here. All right, he's gonna play the Dragon Slayer. Getting a hand spur because he just needs something on board, anything at this point.
Yeah, that's rough, man. When your first turn is turn 4, that's
wait. That Archer though, doesn't that just deal 1 damage to that Adept Archer? Well, I guess you can just do this, yeah. Goblin Leader over the 3-1. Summon a Goblin. Go face twice. Brangwin's so far behind at this point, but he has a full clear here.
Yeah, he's got some big bodies.
All he has to do is play Force of the Dragon, dude. And it all goes away. That's the beauty of Dragoncraft. They have the best clear, at least like in this situation, that the cheapest clear for 2 health followers.
And it's just that's also kind of how Force works, right? A lot of
low defense guys.
low defense followers. Kind of plays into that weakness.
The White Worm comes out. And I think you play the Dragon Aficionado as well. You want to get that Dragon's Nest, because that's going to proc next turn. It's going to restore 2 defense to you, and you get to draw a card. This is going to offset some of the aggression coming from Gomms here. Now, we've seen Gomms be a really aggressive player in this tournament so far, and if Brangwin can offset that with healing, with draw, and just with value, I think Brangwin just has a chance to win this as well.
It doesn't. 2 HP doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is in this case.
Especially because Forestcraft is all about the here's a fairy doing 1 damage, here's another fairy doing 1 damage, etc., etc. The little bits. And next turn, Brangwin also just has a Hellblindy on curve rather, and that's just going to be kind of devastating, especially if the Hellblindy like hits any of these small followers coming from Gomms' side. So even though Brangwin skipped his first 3 turns, still looking like he's got a chance here. He's got a pretty good shot.
Yeah, the situation isn't quite as dire as it looked before.
The beauty of Dragoncraft is that it doesn't really do much in the early game, but it comes back hard in the mid to late. I think you have to play... Oh, there's Lion Champion. I think you play the Hellblindy and you evolve it over the Okami and hope one of the hits pings the 3-1, but it's up to chance now. If both hits go to face, he's not going to be happy about it.
What's going to happen?
Oh!
Man!
Oh! Oh! Brangwin is probably very unhappy with how that turned out, because now this 3-1 just gets to run into the 7-3 for free. Ouch! That is not how he wanted to go.
You never say stuff like that out loud.
Sorry, okay? I forgot. It's the
never say stuff like that.
caster's curse. Oh, it's real. It's real.
You got to just say there's a risk here. Don't put it out there. It will absolutely happen every time.
Oh, the Hector is actually active though, so now he can play the Hector and hit the 3-3.
Yeah.
And start coming back from this. I like this. But it's kind of awkward. There's not much that... Yeah, he can't play another card here. He doesn't have a 3-drop, but that's still really good. Getting the ward in the way. But Gomms has a lot of aggressive tools here. And the Demon's Dress coming from the Nelcha. That's the power of Nelcha here. The Demon's Dress allowing a Fae to run into a 5-drop.
Dress you down.
Yeah.
Strip away that armor, rather.
Strip away that Arthur. Is that a Freudian slip?
I'm thinking about Arthur, man. What can I say? Strip away the armor. Again, gives easy access for a fairy to run into it, like you said before.
Oh, it's rough, man. Brangwin doesn't have the board clear to deal with this right now.
He is a buffed up tart, man. What is he doing over there?
That is one strong tart.
Look at those glutes, man.
All right, I like this. All right, coming back, staying in the game.
Yeah,
but
Drakewing Assassin with a strong clap back.
Still rough.
Puts it back on Gom's side.
This 1-1 is just going to run in.
Nelcha coming into play once again.
Getting-
Gotta imagine he picks a Demon's Dress again.
I think Demon's Dress just in general is so much value, you know?
Yeah.
It's like an infinite damage, almost. Infinite damage minus squad removal. It can take down any big thing plus a fairy.
Especially because he knows he's going up against Dragon. He's expecting some big bodies to come into play, right?
Evolving that Happy Pig. What can Brangwin even do here?
Happy as a ham.
This
Here
is
we
the
go.
clapback you're talking about.
You could tell, man, the way Gomms has been playing today, especially with some of those picks, right? You can tell again, the pressure's on him. We talked about this.
Hard to paint. And that's that Demon's Dress, man. That Demon's just going to get rid of this Lion Champ like nothing.
You think you're safe because you have this self-buffing ward out,
Not the case.
but he ain't going to look too good with this dress on.
Is that how the card works?
Yeah,
You force the opponent to
force the
wear
opponent
an
to put
embarrassing dress?
You got to put a wig and lipstick on him, and then you put the dress on.
This is a Demon's Dress here and then run the 3-2 into it. Has to be.
You look adorable. Now here. Take this cut.
I like this deep lore. And the Ariana off the top two, being able to remove the Elder Turtles for no cost to Gomms at all, essentially. And that's the end of the game. Damn!
Wow.
There's that tempo. Gomms is such a good tempo player, is that I'm realizing now. Like, we've seen that with his previous games series, and now with this Forest play, just went hard on the board, and there was nothing Brangwin could do to come back.
From start to finish, really.
Yeah, and Brangwin had that clear, right? Oh, your whole board is gone. What can you do now? Oh, I just got more.
Yeah,
I just have more.
like, it seemed like literally the next turn, it was like right back. Yeah. It's like, to be continued. Oh, pick it up from last episode.
Yeah. Oh, nothing's changed.
Yeah. So.
That's tough. Hey, there you go. That's the class you wanted.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. No more 2-0s.
It's been washes all day. Finally, we get a long set, especially in grand finals. It's cool to see.
It's grand finals, man. This is the big boy games. They're all really focused on
And
this.
we talked about it before this game, man. Gomms, you got to imagine all the pressure's on him. He's the one sitting at like right on the bubble of the leaderboard standings for Southeast Asia Oceania.
24 points.
He needs this win here to be able to get himself into that conversation, be able to get himself in that cut of players that we're looking for, who are looking for those top 2 spots to get seeding into the Contenders Cup later this year.
Again, Gomms is currently 10th place on the ranking, I believe.
Currently at 24 points, so a 20-point win here,
Would put him
would
to
net him 20
4th.
points, would move him, to 4th place at 44 points.
And then there's still the Unlimited Cup coming up. And
Yeah,
tons of tournaments coming up as well. And he has that chance to get to that Contenders Cup. So
You got to imagine him,
Here we go.
Glow, BMA, and Mao Sama all licking their chops, trying to get into that, trying to get in those top 2 spots, man. And here we go, finally, another portal play here.
yeah,
From
I know, it's
Brangwin.
weird. We hadn't seen as much portals as I thought we would. 'Cause-
Only one so far,
yeah.
right?
Like, this is the second one. And the first one we saw, like, got wrecked hard. So it's interesting. All right. Yeah, there's a full moon.
Full moon with the ogre.
Going right here.
That's a
just
good package.
wanting a little earlier game. I think Fervent Machine Soldier is such a good card.
Yeah, and comes with meta prod.
But he's taking the Icarus there. I think they're both pretty good cards here.
Stungar and Pitfall.
Oh, this is a pretty bad neutral pick. I think you take the Pitfall though. I think
Yeah.
Pitfall is just way better, but it's rough, man. Oof.
Oof, indeed. Yeah, some of these picks, man.
Oh, we were saying earlier that Portalcraft has less cards in the card pool to choose from, so it makes it a lot easier to pick out their best cards that they have available to them. But sometimes you still kind of
Yeah, some of these draft picks, I'm like, man, I don't know what I would pick.
Yeah. Ooh. I guess you go Acceleradium and hope to draw more.
Yeah, you gotta hope you get your artifacts out there and pick these.
He's actually picking the Curtis Statue there. That's not something you usually want to be putting into your deck. Tart Man. Crowd favorite. Dimension cut here.
Now, what's the pick here?
Ooh. Does he have enough? I don't actually know how many artifacts he drafted. Like, I think it has to be Deus Ex and Magna Legacy.
I mean, I would imagine so, right?
Yeah. But, like, I wonder. Like, his draft was kind of, it's a little flaccid. Like, not enough, like, artifact stuff, as far as I could tell. And kind of too much of the wishy-washy early mid-game stuff. But we'll see. We didn't get a really great look at his entire deck there. So we'll take a look at what he's able to pull off here. But we'll see. But
I think just off principle, you have to go with Deus and
yeah,
the Deus pick, right?
You're not picking Marduk.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just trying to consider is that Deus Ex going to actually synergize well with your deck if you have enough artifact stuff in there? I hope he does. All right, here we go. Going into the game here, Brangwin versus Gomms, the final game of the day. Here we go. What does Gomms have up against Brangwin's Portalcraft? Havencraft again. Flexing that Ramina one more time.
So here we go. This is what you were talking about, right? Two of the top classes in this tournament format, in theory.
Heavenly Knight in his hand. We see it's in his deck. There's an Odette in his deck as well. And Altaia, a Lion Crystal. I'm really liking Gomms' draft right now, just from the few cards I've seen. There's the Heavenly Knight off the top.
I want to see what happens. Let's go.
Here we go. All right, Brangwin's got a bit of a curve here. At least Icarus is a really good card that he's got for the artifact package, but he's also got some like weird puppet stuff here that you don't usually see played. This just has to be an Icarus from Brangwin, I imagine. And you know what? Going second, Brangwin has a nice little advantage being able to evolve the... Did he actually go for the Marduk instead of the Deus Ex Machina?
I think... Did Marduk come out?
Or was that the first pick?
Yeah, it might have been the first pick.
If I can see Marduk win a tournament, then I'll be pretty happy, man.
Holy Lion out there.
Treasure map. That's fun. I like this. What's in the box? Arthurian Light. That's one of the highest values options you can get from Treasure Map. Getting you a 1/1 with Storm essentially every turn.
Yeah, it's a lucky pick.
Very, very slow in Constructed, but in Take 2 it might just do some work. Who knows?
Now Brangwin once again gonna have to kind of go around the Nun because it's his turn and now has Bane active.
He can evolve the Icarus and try and pull out the Ancient Artifact. Looks like he's just gonna get the Cruel Puppet Master here and pass. I like this actually. I like this a lot. It's up to Gomms now to deal with his threat. But Altaia comes down and that thing is gone. Just gone. And the Clash effect of the Altaia actually procs before the Clash effect of the Cruel Puppet Master, because the way the Shadowverse game rules works is that the Clash effect of the players, the current active player's turn, procs first. So the Altaia effect procs before the Cruel Puppet Master could even go off. That denies a puppet for Brangwin, and that could be pretty big.
Yeah, especially in this last game of this Grand Finals.
Icarus now evolved to get the Ancient here. Ancient's going to run into... this is kind of awkward, though. Like, he doesn't really have a great curve here. Like, the way he needs to trade is to just trade into the Altaia. Then that Death Scythe is still up. He does have the Puppeteer strings to kind of bring this back, but Gomms just has huge bodies now. If that Catalia gets destroyed, it gives Gomms a Summit Temple.
Uh-oh. And
he has a Heavenly Knight in hand. Are we going to see a Summit Temple Heavenly Knight?
In Take 2?
In Take 2? No, Gomms! Oh, this guy's... Nope! No holds barred. Gomms is like going in with this draft. Oh, and he sees it! Evolving aggressively here means that Brangwin's like, I have to remove everything. If Brangwin removes everything, he gets a Summit Temple. If he gets a Summit Temple, he has Summit Temple Heavenly Knight.
Gomms is going in. Wow.
I think it's...
And so again, for you guys that don't know so much about Shadowverse, again, Summit Temple essentially flips your offensive and defensive point values to the point where your defense becomes your offense. Heavenly Knight is a high defense character, so which is going to give him 7 attack, essentially.
This is insanity.
Brangwin, I think, knows what's up, too.
We're legitimately going to see a Summit Temple Heavenly Knight lethal.
In Take 2, in Grand Finals in Take 2.
Although he is 1 damage off, Brangwin kind of knows what's up. He's trading in such a way that Summit Temple isn't going to be lethal here. But like, how much more does Gomms need? Just 1 damage. Is he going to Chronos this? No. No way. Summit Temple, Heavenly Knight, run it into the face. Run it. And then... Brangwin can deal with it. He still has an evolve point.
There it is.
But I still think you play it. This is...
Here we go.
Excuse me, is this a rotation? Did we walk into the wrong format? What happened? I closed my eyes for a second there. Now we're playing rotation. Woo! All right, well, he does have answers. He can play the Marduk.
Oh, you wanted it. Here we go.
It's a good day when I can see Marduk played in a competitive setting. I'm happy though. Here come that boy.
That boy Marduk
No.
swinging on the Heavenly Knight.
Gomms needs 1 damage. That's not 1 damage. Oh, he could actually not. Well, he has the Hati here. So what he can do is he can Star Torrent Hati, or he can Hati and get a Nyx out. I like this. I like this. You got to get rid of that Marduk. You can't leave that up, huh?
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say those words on a caster's desk.
But in this case, yeah, I mean, 9 attack piece hanging out on the board like that, you got to get rid of him.
Or do you? If you run the 3-7 into the 3-1, Brangwin still has to deal with it. I like this.
He still has the health out too. Yeah, yeah. That's a better play.
Because Brangwin only has 1 defense left. So I actually like this a lot. See, now Brangwin is forced to trade the 9-2 into the 3-4. Oh. This is good times. Ironforged Fighter and Cursed Stone, I imagine. Cursed Stone does have Ward. Just trying to prevent Gomms from having any sort of burst. There's Mori Encomium. It's a good card to draw off with. He really doesn't want to play the Chronos here. He does not want to give Brangwin more tools to potentially survive. Oh! That has Storm. Bird keeping disciple comes out. And actually, Star Chaser Sprite now draws 3 cards, which is huge. Well then. This is a high-pressure game from Gomms. And now Brangwin's just desperately trying to survive.
Yeah, I mean, like, what can he even do here?
So he can play the Ancient, run it into the 4-3, Arthurian Light. Yeah. You just have to run the 4-3 into the 3-3.
Take the trade.
It sucks because it's a pretty unfavorable trade, but hey.
I mean, he's at the point where he has to do that.
He has to do anything to survive. Oh! Yeah, that's over. So now he just has to Pure Annihilation the 3-3, then play Star Torrent, gets a 2-1 with Storm. Oh, he doesn't need to do that. He just destroyed it with the Mori Encomium.
And Dunzo.
What? Gomms with the comeback.
Wow.
We saw Summit Temple Heavenly Knight in take 2. Gomms, man. He's showing how it's done.
Yeah, so congratulations to DIS.Gomms taking the Southeast Asia Oceania Shadowverse Open Dawnbreak Nightedge Take 2 Cup here today. But most importantly, not just about the money that he got, right?
And he did get money, $500.
Part of that $1,000 prize pool.
Yeah.
But more importantly, he got himself 20 points to be able to climb that leaderboard. Now up, what, 44 points?
Coming into 4th place?
Yeah.
That means he's this close now to being able to go into the Contenders Cup, try and fight for that seat in the World Grand Prix where the big bucks are, $1 million.
Yeah, big win. And now that the top section of the Southeast Asia Oceania leaderboard is getting a little crunch, right? We have, what, I think like 4 points separating four players?
Yeah, we have BMA at 51, Glow at 49, Mao Sama at 49, and then now Gomms at 44.
Yeah, so 7 points separating four players, really, yeah.
It's getting really tight.
Tie for 4th?
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations to Gomms. Good stuff to Brangwin as well.
Yeah,
also,
and newcomer coming 2nd place.
That's not easy. We saw that last month too, right? But that's been the story of Southeast Asia Oceania region,
that's right? It's a developing region that anybody can come in, make a name for themselves, including you. So make sure that you register as well if you're looking to scratch that competitive itch.
Yeah, don't just sit at home watching, guys. Come out and play, man. It's fun to be had, money to be made.
And you know what? There's a tournament coming up real soon too. Next month, on June 16th, we have the Southeast Asia Oceania Shadowverse Open Dawnbreak Nightedge Unlimited Cup.
You nailed it.
Thank you. See, I'm getting it now. I'm getting good. It's muscle memory, honestly.
That's a lot of syllables. I'm just saying. But yeah, good stuff. Make sure you guys register on Battlefy as well.
Battlefy.com/Shadowverse-Open. Register for all the tournaments. If you're not even from this region, you want to register for the NA tournament. That's also there. If you want to learn about everything with the future tournaments, Contenders Cup, league standings, and the World Grand Prix, it's all on ShadowverseOpen.com. You can follow us at Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, SideGames Esports for all updates. And we also have another tournament coming up on August 10th to 12th. The Shadowverse Open. No, it's the Shadowverse World Circuit Singapore 2018. See, there's a lot of names to remember.
You're doing fine, man. Don't worry about it. I'm here for moral support.
So this is another one of those ways that you can get to the World Grand Prix. It's on August 10th to 12th. It's the Shadowverse World Circuit Singapore 2018 event.
Yeah, and this is a 2-day event, like you said, and this is going to be able to
On
get
the
you
weekend.
again, winners is going to get access. They're seeded into the Contenders Cup later this year, right?
So it's at Bugis Plus Mall in Singapore. Again, all details are at shadowverseopen.com. Also, make sure to join me and Obama if you can make it to France at DreamHack Twice. That's coming up next weekend as well. Anything else?
No, I think that's it for us, man. Congratulations once again to DIS.Gomms. Got himself 20 points, got himself some money.
Proving that Team Disaster still got it, even in a completely different region.
Yeah, congratulations as well to Brangwin. Brangwin, a newcomer, I think, to the scene, competitive scene anyway. Made a big splash here today at the Take-Two Cup.
And if you're new to the game, and if you're just stumbling upon this game and you want to get into it, I have some beginner's guides up on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/IgnitiusLP, if you want to check this out and try your hand at competing for that $1 million grand prize at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's a lot of wall scrolls that money will buy. It's
a lot of...
Once again, thanks to each and every one of you guys from watching from all over the world. This is, again, the Southeast Asia Oceania Shadowverse Open Dawnbreak Nightedge Take-Two Cup. We'll see you next month, June 16th, for the Unlimited Cup version of this season.
I've been Ignitius.
And this is Majin Obama. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for coming through.
Is this the